Doran is going to be all right, and it is just some biffo to start things off.
Yeah, nobody getting their grass proc just quite. Not enough time there. But we do get wards coming in a little bit early as well, so the slight combat does have a tiny effect.
Yeah, Doran making sure he stays still. Of course, you do get those little mini games. You know, we often talk about it with like champions like Evelyn, where you have to like make sure you're warding differently. Rek'Sai is a bit similar, where you need to move less if you don't want her to see
Give off
you.
the radar ping.
Yeah. So we'll see whether Doran is going to be holding position more often than not, as Rookie and Faker will meet in the mid lane for the first time since 2019 Rift Rivals.
Yeah. And definitely Rookie not in the best form coming in, and Faker's lane phase isn't as good coming in, but we'll see, because Faker has really opted a lot into playing these side lane plays and dropping CS in mid lane. We'll see if he can do that early on Taliyah. Definitely a good champion for it. Yep. And bottom lane would be one of the cases for it.
Well, so far we've just got a little bit of damage going back and forth. Mako looking a little worse for wear, as Carrier has just been constantly headbutting, and Gumayusi just throws Beyblades everywhere. And so it is a little bit difficult, but T1 getting control of this wave for now, and none of these weird swaps that we have been seeing across the world, right? Like the, what is it, the WE swap, or we like to call it the Viper swap, because he was the first to do it in the LCK. Not happening in this game.
Yeah, where the AD carry just goes topside instead. Yeah, we definitely should mention with the patches catching up here for Worlds that, as
for them, boys.
the things that they did change was
Hai for them.
swap detection from 3 minutes
Ce se
to 4
întâmplă?
minutes up there for top lane specifically. So
That's
that
not Vlad,
does
bă.
make, you know, the possibilities of those AD carries, you know, swapping up topside early on less enticing. They're more dangerous because you have to play the bounce back wave, and there's also more time for junglers, you know, finishing full clears and having options to go up there. But, you know, pro players do still love to cook ways to lane swap.
Yeah, I think that lane swaps will always find a way. You've just got to stop fighting it.
Just double jungle for a while. Or
yeah. That's I mean, that's what some of the theorizing has done. However,
My man working.
I would like it if we just get some 2v2 laning as the Shine
Working.
just you know, trading blows a little bit here, but we know that Rek'Sai is pretty comfortable going down low, just builds up more fury, and then he gets all of that health back, as you can see, going in once again. Doran losing out on that trade pretty massively.
yeah, meanwhile, we had the junglers trading their Scuttle Crab, so it is going to be a little later recall for Wei because he had to get chased off and go up for the topside Scuttle Crab. So he's going to be a little bit later on his recall. It's not going to matter too much, though. Does mean that Owner is first up to his Krugs side up by top.
Yep, smallish proc there from the Shy as well. Getting towards that first plate. Gumayusi, decent spell shield there to avoid a bit of damage. Tanglebubs could have been a
Hai vedem, boy. Cine rupe și cum și de ce? Până acum e 0-0. Băieții niciun kill nu poate să facă. Oare de ce? De ce oare? Hai, Fakir! Hai, Fakir! Bă, eram în match cu Ash, mă băteam eu acolo super tare așa. Zice unul, Ash is Gumayusi. Mulțumesc, chiar am apreciat. Da, o să dureze un pic, văd că... Rookie! That is back! Să văd dacă pot să... Nu, mersi. Oh! Oh! First! Și moare! Ah. Sunt dat. Alo? Ah, Faker! Le Faker! Ce? Adică?
ultimate to finish.
Du-te mă că l-ai ceva fan-made acolo.
Of Guma. So, T1, it's actually not the end of the world there.
Bă.
Even Thorin getting soloed under tower.
Las că intru. Fac stream și lucrez.
Get a convergence here towards mid lane, trying to push out the wave.
We're gonna get snared up here by Wei. Looks like it is just a battle for
Nu,
Wei, but moving on over. Now
nu pot, sunt la un campionat.
T1 leaving the position, moving these minions out of the way. And a possible fight for this dragon.
Nu că am văzut acolo iconița că îi de la
To type too many corpses
electric.
around.
It's very interesting too because the Shy is still topside and yes, teleport.
Ce să vezi?
The Sivir is applying, pressure to the wave, trying to push in. So if
Pe cum
they
poate să
do a
arate?
lot of,
Catch
they're
up
actually going
refresh.
to teleport topside to overload.
Yep, we'll see. The Shy is down relatively low. but
Data
it can be pretty
refresh.
tricky on this Rek'Sai.
Define,
Carrier
okay.
finds the
On,
polarize, just
apply.
gonna be a bit of damage as he does make his way out. Picture in picture, you got
Okay.
Gala up against Doran here towards his bottom side as both
Tot
waves
ce
are
ui.
going to be crashed in here by T1. Decent little move. No dragons to be attempted just yet. Both teams with vision in the area.
11-37.
T1 get to keep farming up their Sivir. The Shy on Rek'Sai though.
3-10.
Some teammates in the area. You can
Refresh.
see on the map trying to come up.
Yeah.
Way they're finishing up the Grom.
Ce zici, câștigă Faker?
Ready to make a play, but
Ha?
not going to stick around and force the issue. Or are
Faker
they?
cu Invictus Gaming IG.
Another void rush coming on through there from the Shy, but not enough to take down Carrier here. Gumushi now just trying to walk him down. As
De când eram
this
mic, ai
is
zis.
once again for Guma. Mako now in a bit of trouble. He has to flash to get himself out of the way, and this Sivir is now very, very fed. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, some public execution onto Gala here, but no one else really turning up for that show. And he'll be okay underneath this turret for now.
Atlas, Wei went back to base. Owner stays there. That's why T1 forced that play. So they have carried
Da. Las că
for
pun.
engage, and
Bă,
asking for it, but Wei had gone back.
lasă
to
că spun.
Yep. Turtle port in from the Shy is not going to get him quite in time.
Aia zic. Las că spun. Mă trebuie să-l iau după tel, să-l fac.
Of the map. Mako will be able to help Wei out. And that is going to be the Kiana securing all three of them. Let's have a look at this replay once again.
Yeah, Wei's
Da.
retelling.
Păi n-am mai făcut un alta, știi, și am zis, hai să joc un pic o oră, știi? Și am jucat o oră.
Out without dying, just survives on a sliver of health. They
Nu
have
e mult, da, acum.
here, he commits to the play. They get the
Am jucat cam până am ieșit din...
money into Sivir is exactly where they're trying to funnel
din...
it, right into Guma, right into the Sivir.
Exact.
Ideal last
Doamne, a fost faină faza.
T1 are going to win this game through Gumushi.
Foarte
through
drăguț.
Sivir. Then that's actually a lot of character development from T1. One thing that they've really struggled with.
Ai,
this is something
Aurelio.
that we did spoken about extensively. That is playing through Gumushi is not
Deci acum sunt în pădure și dacă speculez eu bine, ăia rocării au zis că în pădure undeva dădeau partiuri.
This is going to have to be
Și acolo ajungi, cred că, unde au zis ei că au ferma, aia unde țineau partiuri. E clar.
worlds in a row thus far.
E clar, deci e clar. O să vezi la sfârșitul clipului, dar sare când m-am decis să nu mai joc, o să vezi. Am zis, bă, hai să mă mai duc un pic și pe aia zic, nope, nu mă mai duc, ok. Da, da, azi le fac pe amândouă, zic eu. De fapt pe ăsta, la că ăla n-am trecut până el. Dar le pun să-l fie acolo, gameplay, playthrough tot. Walkthrough, de fapt.
Gets a nice little knock-up. Void Rush just trying to void but the trample immediately catches him, and down will go the Rek'Sai.
Dar nu joci Devil in Me, sau cum?
Will be able to claim the kill with his bat, and Carrier
Ah, ok.
keeping his eye on where Mako is. IG going to struggle to re-engage, although Carrier isn't exactly at full health. Not too worried about it. When it moves over, it looks like T1 are not going to be able to pick up the dragon here.
Yeah, that was a great pillar from owner here onto
Da.
onto this guy. And
Ah,
Carrier
înțeles.
had a controller in that pixel brush that is still there. The Alistar just waiting for him, but yeah, he did get the kill. They didn't get the dragon afterwards.
Deci
so
în minutul 10 Faker are 94 farm.
The problem is, a couple of waves were just lost towards that top side of the
E
map.
ok, e bine. Eu farmez mai bine, dar na.
Advantage. Level advantage, as you can see, already, but also a couple of waves in the lead.
Da, nu, că farmează bine, e deodată cu minutul, adică e perfect. Hai, facher. Bun. Prieten, ba da, Parado. Am Parado. Da, ce? Ah! Nu cred. Au pe ăsta, ce iau Thermomix, zice. Nu m-aș fi gândit, deci n-aș fi ghicit niciodată. N-aș fi ghicit. Nu, Nu, n-aș fi ghicit. Cum? Merită. Ok. Interesant cum pot fi eu cumpărat. Bring back slavery, nu? Sau? Și am să-mi iau ban pe YouTube. De ritualuri de-astea. Bombac. Da. Bine, bă. Ce vrea? Aoleu, oare ce vrea? E clar. Să-ți dea indicații, boss. Acum. Primești quest-urile alea grele. Quest-urile alea grele, care trebuie să faci trofeele grele, știi? Da, îți dă alea grele, cu trofee de la ce le faci, ai. Greu, da, se poate. Trebuie să platinizezi gala asta. Gândește-te, șeful meu e pe feels, da? Deci, pe feeling-uri, pe cum să zic? De exemplu, ținea odată un discurs, știi? Și soțul ei, Petre, el mai face o glumă, mai zice ceva, știi? Zice, iar mi-a stricat Petre momentul. Da? Deci pe chestia aia, îi place discursul de alea touching, știi? E foarte pe sentiment, știi? Pe nostalgie, pe bucurie, pe... Înțelegi? Deci trebuie să faci chestii din astea, de plângi la ele. Da? Faci tu, bagi o melodie, faci un slow motion, tot iese. Bă, dar zi să-ți trimită, hai că-i dau, uite, îi scriu și eu acum. Sau vorbești tu cu el azi? Ah. Dă-i la Vlad filmarea lungă de la gală, nu? Gala trecută. Da, are și lungă? O zis care îi zici tu? Nu, e asta, nu e mai scriu. Nu, bine, mai zici tu el, da. Da! Da. Oh, perfect. Super, dă să experimentez și eu. A murit Faker, bă. Primul death al lui Faker. Ba, șpițu. Bă, Faker, hai! Fa, da, mă, bă. Învață Faker pe ăștia ce fac, mă. Învață tineretul. Dă aici pe aici. Câți ani are rookie ăsta? Hai să văd. Rookie. Age. Da, cam oi, cam oi. 28 de ani are. Uite că e la aceeași vârstă, de fapt, că și Faker are 29. Rookie 100 plus, da. Da, da, 29 are Faker. E cu... deodată cu Gabi. Deci, da. Te vezi, rookie, laner lui după mid îl ține cu 10 farm pe 5 farm diferență în sus. Da, da, e la diferență și are un kill. Opa. Nu înțeleg. Da, e Faker e mid laner, da. Talia. Contra Ryze. Na, depinde, că și cu Talia poți să-l dai pe ăla în spate, în stânga, dar nu, Ryze e un monstru. Am unul Talia, n știu. Aia cu pământul. Ce face zidul cela? Mere cu placa de surf pe pământ. Uite, iară. Cred că e play-off. Nu știu ce înseamnă play-off exact, dar cred că... Bă, Ruben, ce-i play-off-ul? Că eu nu m-am uitat niciodată ce înseamnă fiecare. Gala.
Of course, Carrier actually getting the last hit. You were just asking. Yeah. You were just asking to get Doran.
Nu mi-a zis. Ce-s play-off-urile astea, să vedem. What are playoffs in league?
Can do in the LPL. I wouldn't be as worried if I was in my league, but this is a very different beast. 2 items already completed as the Umbral Glaive is now done as well.
Yeah, and these are very cheap items. You know, they reduce the cost.
The top performing teams advance to playoffs, often played as double elimination or conference-based brackets.
There too, and gives you a nice lethality spike. So we have seen that burst damage really coming in handy for Wave, for IG. And getting some of those burst kills, especially on the side there.
Yep. And 2 items now done here for Rookie at the same time.
Bine, mă. Ne auzim. Aha. Hai că vedem. Hai că vedem. Bine. Ne auzim, ciao. The T1 have a team fight in them to try and get back into the objective game, because right now Jesus,
they haven't been in it at all.
Yeah, the objectives all going the way of IG, but the control wards that T1 were trying to camp on are slowly getting pushed out here. IG with the extra members around.
Oh, Beaver's Wall to come on through here just for the crab. They are going to get it, so the prize does come on through here for T1. That is Weaver's Wall now on cooldown, possibly some angles with
the top phase of the season comes together for the final tournament of the year. The winner is crowned the best team in the world. Play-in, the 4th seed, nu știu ce, Swiss. Play-in. We complete in play-in stage. The play-in stage is one single elimination. Deci dacă pierd acum, Alo? Ok. Da, mă duc eu.
And T1 are just going to back away.
Bine.
So they go for the exact, teleport play that we're looking for, Atlas, but IG just escape, just walk away
The
here.
good old walk away strategy. I've seen that one before.
No, bun. Ciao.
There. So now it's going to be swinging around the other way, where the shy teleport will come up earlier, and IG get to be the ones in the opposite position. They're also here for Rookie and fully stacked up Rod of Ages.
Yeah, just hit that level 14 because of that. Glad that we managed to get the animation as well, thanks to observers. As Wei is going to start this one up, Carrier is going to be able to spot it.
Hai frate, hai că joc. Bam, bam.
The T1 can get themselves into position as Mako trying to get some vision down, transform into Gala. Shy vision, not going to be able to find his flank angle as Doran, you can tell, really wants to get in there with that public execution as Carrier with the flash. Public execution goes wide, and Wei finds the ult.
Mamă! Nu. Fucker, fă ceva! Ăla-i, hai, uite, mai faci, pam. Vine Rizio. Aoleo. Ultimately lose out on the fight. Frate, ce este? Workspaces, Arad. Status contractor.
That was a replay. We checked something out.
I was like,
and now we're back to life.
what are we looking at? Is this a test? This is a test, Atlas.
Yeah.
I think we failed the test.
I think we failed. I think we 100% failed. If you guys saw what it was, then you have better eyes than us. It was Gumi
Okay, contractare.
saw that bit, and that bit was really cool. I like the extra zoom out that we had as well. And now we're checking out
Aproape
this
0.5.
Dragon going on down, and that is sole point here for IG.
Okay.
Uncontested from T1 as well as Gumiushi.
Download.
Trying to trade it for this outer turret, but he's not even going to be able to collect that one. As Realm Warp comes in, immediately Rookie goes gold, and a bit of a messiah there. You love to see it as he's flung back on the rocks. And IG not going to be able to quite find their prey, but still, I mean, they just get the Drake for free, defend their turret, and put the pressure on T1.
Yeah, this does put a lot of early pressure here with Dragon Soul very early.
Bă, dar ce cercul albastru?
T1, of course.
Cumva
They did a good job here to get
Blue.
the actual Otacon, like the beginning of that fight where they focus Wei.
Vedeți, mă?
You know you cannot smite fight.
Ăștia toți au scanere și blue. Ward-uri foarte puține au.
Insanely hard to outsmite. So they opt. They're like, you know what? We are not going to try and outsmite a Kiana because Rocky's OP, and they go specifically to try and push Wei out. They actually do not kill him, and he is able to flash away and get his combo off. But Owner
Nicoaia, man.
then be the only one close enough. He's able to get the Otacon, but Rookie, look at Rookie on the top side. The Rise is able to pick up the extra kill here. More money into him. And is also going to be able to take down Owner. So IG, they get a bunch of money. Gala here even collecting as well on the portal.
Da.
So I think they're pretty happy with that because now with 3 Drakes setting themselves up for a possible Dragon Soul with this nice gold lead that they have for themselves. And I mean, Rookie here,
he's a monster.
He is a monster.
He's a monster.
Break his arm guard.
He's a monster.
That he did earlier.
Unde am mai download to this file, da.
Yeah, just fix that thing back up before there's another fight, and nobody will notice.
He's a monster.
So is Ona, as Gala is really starting to hit. He's hit that 2-item spike on this Corki, and these rockets are tearing through T1. They're going to think twice before doing that one again. As Mako's going to transform, Doran looking for an angle.
5-1 la Cristina Petrașcu. Diana Ioniac. Mă sună cineva. Alo? Ciao. Am dat. Dă-i un refresh să vezi dacă ți-a intrat. Că am văzut că nu a intrat ce trebuie. Vezi, dacă nu îi scriem, bine? Bun. Ciao.
2 minutes and 20 seconds until that next Infernal comes on up, and Infernal Soul is a big deal.
Certainly is. Huge burst damage. Possibility.
Huge burst damage.
Of this IG team, and here we go is the all-time head-to-head record here for Rookie and Faker that we alluded to at the beginning of the show, Atlas. You know, being there and casting some of these matches, but this is a whole different beast.
It certainly is.
Here at World's Best of 5.
And Rookie, even when his career had just started, right? He started the second team for KT, I believe it was KT Arrows at the time, and was very dominant.
Faker.
Won in summer, and then was somehow unable to make it to Worlds. It's crazy how these things kind of happen, and he was able to get the better of Faker there, then was unable to actually make it anywhere near him when it came to the World Championship. Until Faker just, you know, had his worst year, which was 2018, and that was when Rookie's like, it's my time to strike. And we just don't get this matchup very often at all, but when we do, Rookie just seems to figure it out. Right now he's doing the same thing as a clone will be attacked momentarily, but not too much more is going to happen. And this Kiana is really doing some damage. 2-0-2, and way out of control when it comes to trying to escape the jungle of T1 and put some pressure on back the other direction. And it's a 3,000 gold lead, Kobe. This game is really starting to run away from T1.
Yeah, and especially the side lanes, they're going to have to worry. Rookie has been able to fix up the broken arm guard into the hourglass and can apply that side lane pressure. Same thing with Rek'Sai here for the Shy. Push the wave very quickly. You just create your network of tunnels. So you are insanely hard to go try and trap. You have all these escape routes. And some big possibilities here of IG's macro just being too much for T1. T1 going to have to focus on some fights here and winning out through their fights if they're not able to handle these lanes.
Nice little snare once again onto Carrying. Takes a fair bit of damage, but he is an Alistair, so he should be okay. Still T1 testing, trying to find some angles, but when the pillar goes down, Gala just stands and fights, as now Carrier's in so much trouble.
Exhaust.
He's going to be employed to make sure that Wei can't kill him, but that's going to mean reset time for the cow.
Gosh.
Just holding back T1, and they can... Is this just free? Is this just free Infernal Soul?
Soul Infernal.
Okay, that's the MasterCard priceless moment right there as the Infernal Soul is going to go down.
Moment of the game.
Now T1 have to deal with even more firepower. I'm kind of gobsmacked, Kobe.
This burst damage is going to be insane.
Man, o să aibă un burst Corki cu Kiana. Sai da mine. Uite, Corki AD, frate, nu. Top, nu mid.
So we're seeing a bit of a fight towards the bottom side, one that the Shy is feeling pretty happy about, especially with Thornmail now completed. Yeah, it's 2 items. One of them's a Black Cleaver, but still looking like the Shy is pretty happy.
Minutul 29, o picat turnul pe mid.
So much armor and the upgraded boots here as well for the Shy. You know, the early Thornmail to deal the damage back. Plenty of waves cleared, and again, IG, they can set up these side waves to their liking first. So it's on T1 to kind of sit here and try and camp for something. Maybe you can camp for a pick. Maybe you can camp for a Taliyah play or something, because for their side, at least Guma now does have the 3 items. You know, Infinity Edge completed here on top of Navori and the Essence Reaver for the Sivir. So the possibilities coming out there for these team fights for the future. Yep, he's held on to that 900 gold the entire game. So kudos to him for that one, but haven't seen too much more. And the problem is that Rookie is 3,000 gold ahead. We're going to zoom on him right here towards the top side of the map. And yeah, this guy is the one that they're going to have to really worry about. And it's so big because Rookie
okay, that's good.
Okay. And so this is huge to come out in game 1 of the series.
This.
We'll see how IG are look to finish it though, because so far the advantage here.
Source.
And now it's Baron territory. Right, this is T1 being a bit of a fan, going for Barons, for better or worse throughout their time. See whether they do decide to pull the trigger as the teleport is coming in from the Shy. Carrier wanting to get into position, but the Shy is going to be spotted immediately. Good spell shield as the Supreme Display of Talent doesn't fire the angle, and then Protect the President comes on through from T1. Void Rush not going to be enough, and it's Gumayushi that gets the better of the Rek'Sai. And the Shy may have thrown a bit of this lead away, but IG still standing. We'll see what they can get from this. It's a decent stun onto Ona. He's out of the way, but the seismic shove comes through. Pop loves him. Only onto one as Gala's forced to run away. Such a low health bar. As the boss responds, not quite enough.
Am ce dă infernalul ăla.
Gumiyushi's free hitting, and it's another one for Ona as T1 just make a team fight win out of nothing.
Oh, that is just one Rek'Sai tunnel too far from the Shy.
Viața mea ce acolo, man.
That dive and the Shy going down opens up the
Se ia baronul.
for T1 to go for their 5-on-4 team fight, and that's going to be a Baron.
And immediately they get to just
Se ia baronul.
themselves into a winning position because the Baron was right there for the taking. It was into Infernal Soul, Kobe.
N-au că rău joacă topul.
IG, they got a little too antsy. They wanted Guma too much. They full sent under the tower there. The Shy goes over, and Doran is able to peel for him. Doran's Mbessa ultimate is enough to keep Guma alive under the tower.
Man, as T1 now back out onto the map with some newly found gusto. They find themselves a 2,000
Baron,
goal lead
power
now.
play. Uite acolo. Bam! Nu știu ce-a vrut, frate. Au vrut să ia ADC-ul. Ah.
After Wave forced the summoner spells, you know, I don't know what the comps were like on IG, but yeah, he decides to full send under the tower, and then T1 are like, okay, Guma's, he's still here, he is low, but
Flashuit.
he's had damage, so we go for the re-engage here,
Zoom.
and Keria just pops Alistar ultimate, he's okay, kind of
Ține Aristarul ăla, man.
that re-engage from IG, and so there was nowhere for Rookie to get out.
Și-au push acum cu baronul. Care, uite, mamă, cât dă ăla cu infernalul pe Alistar. Cred că i-o dat 500.
Right back the other foot, T1 taking towers with the Baron push.
Yep, and it's going to be even more of a swing. As you can see here, in a turret goes down, that's even more money. And now 3,000 gold.
Uite, vezi split push-ul, Manu, vezi split push-ul. Numai că nu-i Rise și periculos. Faceți def, băieții.
They're able to take down the turret, and T1, they're just going to move their way back out. They're just stealing all their stuff, Kobe, and they're watching. And there it is, the
Nico!
Nico just pumps like a balloon. The inhibitor goes down. It's a bevy of AoE as Rookie is still tearing. And the Shy gets into the backline with that Void Rush, but now he's in an uncomfortable position. Decent knockoff comes through as Faker's trying to hold him to give enough time to go.
S-au focusat, mă, ce l-au focusat, dar e fă frică și la Kiana să intre. Sgue! N-ai ce să mai faci, nu, uite acolo, man.
What a way to open up Worlds 2025, Atlas. T1 here looking to finish the job in game 1.
Da, da. Zoom, bam. Nice. Okay, first game. Na.
Winning until the game was over. Like that is on the desk. Like what happened?
Don't ask us.
We don't know what happened. We blinked and then the Shy did the most the Shy thing ever. But everything.
Ce chestie. Alo? Ciao.
lot easier to pick.
And Scion doesn't get over that Raptor wall too easily, unless you like flash. So
Yeah, true.
Let's go, boys. Meciul 2.
yeah, you can hold it there.
Fac chiar joacă
Back up as a zombie.
True.
ăla mid.
Can still be useful and make use of the passive as well. Like I really wish more Cosmo players did.
S-a dus Talia, s-a dus Ryze. Cum își dau ăștia banuri.
Hasn't played all that much. Played many times in the past, so shouldn't be feeling too worried. And this is kind of an LCK flavor of answering the big beefy bulls in the top lane.
Nice comfortable answer.
Bă, eu căutam ceva, nu? Da.
And gives you a lot of possibilities for later as we get the Lulu ban following up here. So they're seeing this very
Lulu.
fight from IG.
Hate Lulu.
Well-rounded front line that they're facing and taking away the possibilities of your enchanted swords here for Mako. Anything that's going to help
Before 1, before 2, before 3. After 1. Perfect.
See what the final ban is going to be.
Then we need before 1.
Of course, Zaya still up and available.
This one's good, but we need to change this. Hello? Nu. Gabi a fost în centru. Da, deci Gabi a fost în centru, s-a dus la control și a parcat, da? Am mesaj la... Da, e zona 0, văd că scrie pe amendă. Și mesajul e pe zona 1. Da, știu. Da, 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 acum văd, n-am mai văzut pe amendă în continuare. Văd că scrie zona 0, Bulevardul Revoluției 6074. Dar care e zona 0? Pe mijloc? Și bulevard și pe mijloc. Și zona 1 unde-i? Da, 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 da. Na, da. Da, păi da, da. Da, da, da. Bine. Aha. Bun, și zona 1 nu e mai scumpă ca zona 0. Da. Bun, și tu vezi... Să-ți pui, da. Da, mă, da. Îți pui, îți dă aceeași amendă. Că tu ți-ai pus... Doamne, ce prostie, ce porcărie. E o porcărie, nu... Nu, recons. Eu sunt la retim. Nu, nu e zona bună. Da, dar nu știu, i-au crezut că au pus zona bună, știi? Nu știut, fix. S-a încurcat probabil.
Fantastic move. But now we are onto the
101.
number 2 of this best of 5 series. And we say all the marbles quite a lot. That's exactly what this game is.
Da.
Either you're into the Swiss stage
201 sau 102.
And the world's labeled marbles that we have.
yeah. And then they'll pull the out and there'll be teams in bits of paper, but your name won't be on them.
Dar numai că i-au ales de aici, că e pe T-Park, știi? Și alegi zona 1, zona 0, știi? Nu trebuie să pui tu, știi? Codul, îți alegi tu zona și au ales zona 1 și i-au pus automat T-Park-ul, știi? Aplicația asta. Că spune singură. Da, trebuia să aleagă zona 0. Nu? Da. I-au pus pe zona 1, care e 30 de cenți. Și zona 0 e 40 de cenți. Deci pentru 10 cenți îmi dau aceeași amendă. Wow. Sunt foarte deștepți, n-am ce să zic. Au un sistem foarte bine pus la punct.
I think it actually works here, even with the 4-minute timer on the top lane swap protection.
But if you're not a fan of lane swaps, you're praying that it doesn't. Time out.
Asta este. No, e ok.
It may shape things to come.
See, Alex, that's why we brought up the
Nu știu.
early on in game number 1. You gotta
Probabil.
let them know, hey,
La 4.
possibility. You know, they have taken some steps to try and avoid lane
We've been
swaps.
trying to get rid of lane swaps.
Deci te-a pus de la 9 la 5, în loc să te pună la 8 la 4. De ce?
But we'll see as well. You know, there are also early options. Owner on Jarvan has been an absolute terror. He can go for some early plays. He can be very creative with it. So
And also, like, that does make it a little bit more dangerous to put the pressure on immediately, trying to grab plates towards that bottom. Pushed so far up.
Da, bine. Bine, hai că vinem.
Doran, once he gets a couple
Dacă e ceva.
to allow Owner to help out, but I believe the pause has finished back into the game. The problem is that
În fine. Bine, mă. Ne auzim. Ciao.
well, there is a problem I see on our screen, and
that?
the lane swap is happening.
Okay.
Yep. So we do get confirmation after the pause is released. Guma is going for the swap here. So we got the 4-minute timer. This will be interesting. We'll track it. Of course, the Jarvan as well can be way more impactful pre-6 than the Wukong. And Wukong and Sion, not the scariest early combination. So we shall see. Owner actually is doing blue buff here on Jarvan and going for the invade immediately.
Oh my goodness, there is a defensive ward here though for IG, so they will spot this. But it could actually just confirm their worst fears, right? Because this means you have to be a little bit more careful towards that bottom side of the map if you know that Owner is sort of lurking around. Faker already looking a little worse for wear, but that's kind of how this matchup is going to go. Way moving off vision the T1 had placed down earlier. I mean, it's an information smorgasbord here about these junglers thus far.
So Owner gets to work with that info. He's like, okay, Wukong's on Wolves. I am fine. Because even if Wukong is skipping Wolves and running here, I have my ward on
Wukong.
my rush. So,
Wukong!
you know what? For sure,
Ho-ho!
he just did Wolves, and he's just going to accept the map split that we have pressed upon IG. But
And
now,
honestly, vertical jungling, I feel, does kind of work out for T1 to try and protect.
Hello?
are they going to react to the... Because they know it's split. Okay, yeah, they're fine.
Does mean that IG do have to back away.
Da, nu. Ideea era că aveam mesaj, știi? Dar acum mi-am dat seama că mesajul l-a pus Gabi pe zona 1, dar de fapt acolo era zona 0. Na, eu nu știu, că nu mai e parcat de mult pe acolo, știi?
Guma's going to chase around, check the jungle.
Da. Adică, man, eu am pus parcare, e 10 cenți diferența și pe bune îmi dă amendă tot full. Ce prostie.
In goes Carrier, finds the knock-up onto Rookie. 5-point strike there from Faker.
Nu, să acasă, că ea au fost în centru, știi? Da.
So we're still looking at another 30 seconds of lane swap.
2 zile sau ceva de genul, nu știu. Dacă 5 zile.
He's going 30 more seconds here to wait. And Carrier
Da, o am. Îți dau și mesajul? Îți arăt și mesajul? Fac poză și la mesaj. Dacă vrei.
Here, we were talking in Champ Select about how much pressure we put early on in Oriana, this champion that does not have a dash for herself, and Flash is being traded with Oriana and an Akali. When you're playing in the garbage, for Oriana, it gets really dicey.
Big deal is Faker almost just killed by out of rookie here. Tries to pick up that last minion with a shuriken backflip, but now is going to go for his own reset. Same thing going to happen here. The lanes are going to equalize in mid.
So we still have the lane swap happening at the moment, but I really want to see the fight and how they keep a vision around mid lane now with having no flashes there, if we're going to get constant repeats, you know, from Keria, from Owner, because both of them do have flashes and would really want to convert while Rookie is on that timer, but currently still operating under the lane swaps and pushing in.
Doran under fire once more as Owner moving over towards Wei. I don't think got
Hai să arăt ceva.
as to where the monkey is, but also the Jarvan was
Hai
unsafe as
încă.
well, moving towards his top lane. The Shy would find himself in trouble, but
Da.
it's going to be lived
Da.
just for now.
Unde e parcat?
Outside of the map, Doran is going to get pushed away from this turret. This is the worst news for T1, because if the Caitlyn just has free reign to knock down these structures over and over again, the snowball can really become problematic. But as you can see, the lane swaps worked, right? The like, it's just one wave, right, between the Shy and Doran, and CS is even between the 80 carries, and that's exactly what T1 wanted out of it.
And you're paying a tax here with the turret plates as well.
Yeah.
So on top of these waves, on top of the CS, we do have this gold lead for IG, a lot funded by the onslaught of the bottom lane and the 3 turret plates that they have been able to take there.
Yep. So now, oh, actually, still moving Doran back down there. So it's not going to be any sort of swap back or anything like that. As at 6 minutes into the game, Mako is making his way in just to make sure that they have as much free reign to push as they can.
Exactly, and that's the vision I was, hoping for them to try and keep Rookie safe here while he doesn't have flash on Oriana, because now Akali is level 6. And so if you get visits for people ganking for Faker, then it can be really dicey for the Ori. So IG are bringing over Mako wisely, I think, get the vision, help him push the wave in. He gets to put more harass in. They can start the dragon. So nice little move here from IG. They get their mid lane priority and fully set up vision, which sees Owner walking over and Keria traversing through mid lane as well.
Yep. Owner is not going to even bother getting rid of the ward. Knows that he needs to come down here to stop this. There is the snare. Great knockup comes on through the grand entrance. The wombo combo here between Owner and Carrier is fantastic, but that's going to be a 2-man shockwave out of Rookie, playing the great defense as Faker finds himself isolated off to the side, and first blood goes to Wei as he will find Carrier. Now Gumayushi has to deal with the Shy, who is just wandering him underneath the turret. Will not dive him this time around, but IG once again off to a great start.
Yeah, I mean, Keria uses the flash here. They go for it. T1 don't have the damage, even though they're focusing the Ori, trying to punish the no flash. They can't pull it off to get the kill onto Rookie, and so the punishment comes back from IG. In addition to the dragon they were already taking, they also claim the first kill.
And Wukong getting accelerated is a pretty scary thing as well. That Trinity Force going to be coming in a little bit faster. Of course, you want to grab the Sundered Sky, the forbidden item, which is just too incredibly powerful. Somehow that knockup actually managed to land, and this looked like a decent start. But as you say, the damage just wasn't enough.
Yeah, Mako's got heal. The Karma's right next to Rookie, so they've got Oriana shields, they've got Karma shields, and then they can get the chase down on the Keria on the way out as well.
Really nicely played here by IG, and they just had more people towards that bottom side as well. Able to make that one happen is now Faker able to get some harass off here, going into the Twilight Shroud, but I don't think Rookie's going to be too worried about it. He's got a couple of ruby crystals keeping himself healthy, and Mako just patrolling the river.
Ce se contestă amenda, mă? Salut, Cătă! Se auzi prea tare și meciul foarte încet. Da, fiindcă e dat încet meciul.
1000 gold leads.
Uite, l-am dat mai tare. Mă dau și pe mine mai încet, ia. Bam, bam, bam. Deci,
Doing some pretty great
Hai
things
să
so
văd.
far in this game. Mid control.
Că
Going
dau
to
mai
be there for
tare
IG.
și
Now
meciul
T1
pot să dau
going to
mai
be pushed
tare.
away from these grubs. Mako and Gala just taking pot shots here at T1. Gumayushi having to flash himself out of the way. And T1 just getting strong-armed here in the river by IG.
Nu pot contesta, man, adică ce să contesti, trebuie să mergi la ei. Practic au încurcat zonele, știi?
Okay, let's see whether he can find the angle as all of the grubs are going to reset. The Shy climbing behind the turret, so is Doran. So the top laners nowhere near one another, ready to teleport in at a moment's notice as there's Make It Rain to come down. Cyclone is there as well from Wei, who's just keeping them at bay. Down goes Ona, and that is going to be the Warrior Trickster, but now Doran has found his mark. Down goes Wei as Junglers will be traded. The Shy gets into the back line though as Gumayushi is his target, and down he will go. Faker still trying to find it though as Rookie will be taken out. Faker gets into the back line and assassinates all of them. Double kill already, and Doran finishes off.
Wow.
The last one is now the Shy. Cannot do anything. No mana, no hope. And T1 find a much earlier team fight this time.
Oh, it was looking risky for T1, but Doran, he teleported in to save the day here. The Cassante doing work. Is it enough?
We'll see. We'll see whether the Shy can keep himself alive as well, but it looks like he's not going to have to contend with too much unless Faker decides to come back down again. Flash out from this Scion as Doran picked up turret aggro, so he is going to have to get himself out of there. Stands beside Faker, and now Ona
Got
be
one.
convinced to leave the grubs as well. So does manage to get one of them, as you say, but it should be the feats going over, or at least the portion of them going over to Wei here. As Mako comes up, Doran may have overstayed his welcome. Let's see whether he can take the Cassante for a walk, and with the heal, he certainly will be able to. Gala finds it, and there is the shot onto Doran. So evening things up for IG, as the scoreline's now 4-4, and they get the grubs.
And double buffs transferred over the Caitlyn now. So, all right, after all of this, Faker got a couple of kills out of that for the Akali, so going to be a lot of extra stacks on his Dark Seal too. 6 stacks Dark Seal for Faker, in addition to this gold that he got on this Akali. So the Akali burst damage, the assassination potential here from this T1 comp. Saw it last time around with Doran joining and T1 being able to put pressure onto the back line. Faker had connected his E onto Rookie and been able to go back in and finish him off in that last skirmish, which was quite big.
Yep. And the fact that it's 100% kill contribution here for Faker as well just means that he's maximized the amount of value that he can get out of the biffo that's been coming on through. But as we can see, IG do have a slight gold advantage as look at these waves. They are just one by one marching themselves to their doom without any response from T1 in this top lane. More
Amenda.
going over to Gala.
Da, am luat amendă,
Starting to look
Cătă.
like a homewares shop with the amount that he's taken from this top side as there's the all out onto Mako, who's just dead.
Foai, ia.
Okay. Doran says,
GG.
whatever you can do, I can do better.
Doran's revenge!
GG.
All right, lane swaps are back, and top laners were feeling pain in the beginning, but like...
Yeah, Doran's very frustrated.
Cassante still has an effect!
Okay, well, Mako not exactly having the greatest of times.
GG.
but the Shy
M-auzi
also
bine, bă?
not really
Dau mai
taking
tare.
damage anymore.
Doi,
So
doi, doi,
we're
doi,
gonna
doi,
check
doi.
this replay one more
Poate mai
time.
încet. Doi, 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 doi.
We know at the very beginning here, Owner went down, does trap Wei
Ce?
here. In the end, the teleport
Da,
coming
venim imediat,
in
stai
for
să
Cassante,
termin aici.
Doran's in a really good spot, so he opens up, him and Keria are able to open up a pathway there for Faker to go over the top. And then just look at him move on forward, get the first damage there. The E
Zoom.
from Faker had connected onto Rookie, so he could follow it in for the extra chase.
Bine, o nimerit eu.
Keria and Doran able
Akali,
to
nu
keep
nimerește
it
eu, te-ai
going here.
dus.
And it was so much early game Cassante value.
Moshi,
Often we
moshi.
don't really see the Cassantes come online this heavily. And when they do, they can really get things going. 3-1 and 2 now for Doran.
Get things
We were
going.
mentioning it before, but this guy hasn't had a year like this
Yep.
ever. As there is the quickness, the grand entrance as well as now
Ay,
Mako
ay,
with
ay.
the damage. Mako going to get popped like a balloon. Bagala is going to keep himself alive still. Faker getting more kills. IG fans
Hai că-s
beware.
curios ce
Yeah.
face
He's
Faker
got the
acum în
damage
late
now
game.
with his Dark Seal stacking up with the extra money, and Keria's Rakan once again. You know, in the
Ravage.
last fight, we just saw him right there
Oh,
with
look.
Doran, getting the engages. Here comes through with Faker, able to get Faker more money as well. in the side lane.
Ok,
And
bună,
the side
bun.
lanes are going to be the dangerous part for IG. They really want to fight as a grouped up team. Much more front
2
to back
și
setup
3.
for them.
Perfect.
And so when they do have carries and stuff, especially that don't have flashes, you have to be a little bit careful.
You certainly do. Shuriken backflip going to come on through as the ace in the hole is going to be there. That's going to guarantee the outer turret here for IG.
S-a luat
Be
turnul.
able to secure that one. Feats of
Ce
strength
fakery?
going
No,
their
no,
way
he
as
mid.
well. But at least the Drake is going to go into T1's hands for the first time in this series. And now Carrier is looking for a little bit of a mark here as in comes Gumayushi looking for the angle. The flash out is going to come on through, and now they're turning it on to Carrier. Cyclone is fantastic, but he just dashes away. And Carrier is going to survive. The Shy really wanting to take him out. He's not out of the woods just yet, but IG not interested in following up, and now the Shy might be the one turned on as Owner is going to turn up. Gets himself the flag, and Carrier will be successfully escorted to safety. And I say safety, he's out. For the rest of T1 looking for potentially something.
And IG are blocking them from mid lane right now, so they're taking mid lane tower.
Okay, Doran looking for
Cum?
an angle. I don't really know what it was, but my God,
Nu știu încă,
the
vedem.
Shy is able to
O zis Cristina
eliminate
să-i trimit
for
poză,
it.
dar vedem dacă
A little
fac
bit
și
of
eu.
gusto, and I don't think that plan necessarily worked from the T1 top laner. As finally, Bullet going to just eradicate
Ulta
this
pentru
minion
minion,
wave.
să mai fac și eu.
And Gala,
Deci nu
he's
fac
just
greșit
doing
nimic.
exactly what Caitlyn's want to do, and that is only hit turrets for the entirety of the game.
Yeah, pushing down there. They got a lot of damage on it. Side lane now, though, Faker.
Well, Shuriken backflip not going to connect there onto rookie. Malco Gaming to come on through, and Faker is just going to back his way out. Picture in picture. You've got the Shy being very aggressive on this Scion. That is on
Bă, dar unde
brand, but this
schimbi ăsta?
champion will certainly take a whole lot more to kill than the Rek'Sai of game 1.
Yeah,
Before
and that whole big last run of play here from
Întrebătoriu.
IG, able to just take the inside route, take control of the jungle, and make it harder for T1 to rotate between objectives. Faker did just stay top side and was able to push that wave in, but T1 on the resets will come over towards the Rift Herald. Looks like they should be able to get this one.
Yeah. Should go over to them. We'll see whether they can use it to get themselves an outer turret in mid lane. Certainly open up the map here for T1, and an open map means a whole lot when you've got an assassin like Akali and you've got Faker piloting it, who's 3-0-2. You'd be feeling pretty good about that one. And we'll see whether they can actually create that space to allow this one to happen, because it is a finesse composition out of T1. It can look like it's lacking damage if Faker is not able to hit all of the priority targets with his abilities, and Gumayushi's ult isn't able to find the mark, right? There are some things that we've had issues with when it comes to what they can do, but of course this is T1, they've made the magic happen before with other comps. As now Mako off to the side, Wei looking for an angle as Rookie clears out that turret. Cyclone comes in, Wei looking for the knockups, and there it is, the shockwave onto 3 from Rookie as Doran just trying to get himself all the way out of there, and it might actually happen as never mind, the orb is going to catch him, and down he will go once again. Faker looking for the angle, but the Peacemaker comes on through, and Faker says maybe Peace is okay for now.
The Shy is also rotating over here, passing through mid-wave. IG can be able to push both waves, bottom side as well. I mean, Owner and Faker are trying to get
Catalina
scraps for themselves together, but...
And now, Faker level down here against the Shy, but the Shy doesn't quite have the damage to stop him from being able to do what he wants. And Cannon Minion will go over to Faker there as Owner? Question mark? He is looking to try and walk his way out of here, but he is going to get slowed down, flag and drag, as he looks to go for the back, because he knows he is well and truly dead. And he will be taken out. Some aggressive positioning, you could say, as Faker dashing towards the Shy, but it looks like this Scion is really reaching that mortality stage.
I mean, the IG comp is so much easier to play, so much better in standard, front to back and pushing them out, and IG able to get the advantage here, chase them back through the jungle. They just force the play again. Wukong and Orianna so good together. Wei's able to start it out. They get their shockwave. They get their chase down kill. IG will be strong as a group. The Shy as well on Scion here is just going to be a massive block.
Yeah.
So that
he might even be able to last long enough for his team to catch up as well. That's the thing that's very scary here for T1, because if he's going to stay as aggressive, he can work as that engage, because this is a Karma composition, right? You have just inherently less abilities to start fights without having that engage support towards that bottom side of the map. So the Shy going to be encouraged to try and make these plays happen. And be that front in the front to back like we were talking about. As IG settling back into a little bit of a farming position until we get to the 20-second mark. As this Drake
Unde
is going to be
modific eu
spawning.
ăsta, mă?
Mountain Soul
Deci
this
avem
game
așa
as well
duplicate. Bun.
is certainly terrifying.
Split.
I
By the
don't
limiter.
ever want IG to get any of those.
Ok.
Because the Shy will be unkillable.
Yeah, they
Asta
definitely
ce
don't want to like increase
Split,
the threshold
okay.
to kill because
Change
T1 they
time.
have to like their comp's harder to play. They got to get you know some more
Okay.
bursty looking kills,
Remove
some good
columns,
flank angles
good.
possibly from
Split
them to get some
column.
assassinations
Huh?
off. But here we go,
Change
good
type.
wards starting out for IG.
Da.
They ward all of the river here. Control wards are
Rename
down. They start up
columns.
the dragon.
Ok. Filtered
Was
colors.
tethered momentarily as
Ăsta
now T1 get themselves
Și
into the river. They
modificăm
do
în
not
doi.
want to
Hai
let
să
this
văd.
one go.
Akali.
As we can see, Make It Rain slows down Rookie. Fake
Akali.
on a flank angle, but he's spotted. Doran finds two with the Q though, as now Ona looks for the knockup but misses. And Rookie is able to take him down. He gets into the Rift Herald. Oh, Ona. We've seen this play before, and he's going to run his way out. But Carrier is going to get taken down. Faker gets into the mix though. And already out of the fight is Mako. The ulti comes on forward, but Faker looking behind the backflip. And Bullet Time gets no joy as well. Doran now out of the fight via the Death Chamber as Gala gets the ace in the hole.
Mamă, Herald-ul.
And yes, you know, that was some cute play there from
Oh,
Ona,
not
but
it.
him doing the Krugs is not going to help them.
No, it's not. IG are too tanky. They are too strong. They're going to get
hai
even
să
tankier
schimbăm
now,
în
Atlas.
doi.
Mountain Dragon
Asta.
will be their reward.
Așa.
And Mountain Soul going to be prepped for them as well. Soul Point will be the next one on the docket. As let's check out this fight one more time.
So they pop the Herald early for later combat use. And then Doran just tries to start it out. Backside,
Before-
Owner's not able to get his EQ on the Rookie either. And Owner just gets put in so
Before
much
Doran.
pressure here that, yeah, he does live. And he gets
Trebuie să la telefon, bă. Alo? Salut. Da? E faină? Na bun, dă-mi, să mi dai și mie. Ciao.
Really nice stuff from them. They stand solid, protect themselves as that group.
Before 2, ok.
And you saw Danny there, the left of your screen in the coach's booth, of course, was working with T1 when they were trying to figure out their roster back in 2021, and then was against them 2023 World Finals as well. Now,
There you go.
another chance for some revenge. See whether he's going to be able to find it right now. In this game, looking pretty good as they're up 3.5k gold to try and even out this series. Atakan up once again though, and T1 were down in the last one. See whether they can turn this one around. I do think it's a different story though, Kobe. I feel like this is going to be a more difficult composition to pilot back into a winning spot.
Asta
I
e
think it was
bun.
very wrong.
I definitely agree. Oh,
Ale
Okay,
safe.
Ona going aggressive onto the enemy jungler as in the meantime, Rookie trying to deal with Faker, now looking to turn it as Wei comes back and that's just a solo! The GOAT is going to be able to find it as Doran goes all out against Wei. He's now in trouble and oh my goodness, was that a cast of curse or a cast of blessing? I'm not entirely sure, but the Atakan is going to spell the demise of IG potentially yet again. As Rookie down for another 27 seconds. They're not out of it yet. Gala is still terrifying, and he will be able to stop Faker from going back home. There is Carrier getting into the backline.
Nice
Bullet
ult.
time, and the shutdown for Gumayushi. Doran's health bar is very low, and the Otacon is being frustrating, but IG are just running out of players.
they certainly are. They're also going to run out of Otacon here. T1's going to be able to get it. I mean, the Shy is dancing around, but not a lot that he can do about it. I guess they have to wait a little while.
Yeah, I don't know whether there is anything that IG can really do about it, though, as we do get a knock-up on IG. They take down the Otacon. The comfortable smite here by Owner, and once again, that is going to be T1 turning around the game at the Otacon.
Hey, Atlas, this T1 comp gets way easier to play when the enemy carries don't have their flashes. So, you know, no flash on Orianna, and if Ricky has no one around to protect him while he has no flash, the side lanes are the area to prey on IG and trying to attack them before they are grouped up in their solid, you know, karma peeling for you and everything. So this is the exact opportunity that you need to take as T1. And Faker, he sees the angle onto Rookie. He goes for the engage with the Proto Belt. He hits his E. That's all he needs. Clean finish on the burst damage. And taking him out before the rest of IG can kind of assemble their composition properly. And then T1, this one was nice. Carrier drops his controller, so he sees the other controller in the front bush. Faker's going for his recall here, and Keria now slips around just in the fog of war. Great toggle of vision by the observers. Keria slips around into the fog of war, and yeah, they interrupt Faker's recall, but Keria from the brush gets the engage, and shutdown goes over to Guma. So they get that shutdown, they get that Otacon.
And do you give him credit for it? Was that a bait?
Hell yeah, you always give credit.
Yeah, all right, Faker did it.
There you go, credit.
Just baited them in, Gala walked up, took the bait, and they took him down. Not to know for sure, but we might be able to get a glimpse into the comms.
You can also tell that Keria was thinking about it really early on. You know, he puts the control ward there, and the control ward, he's like, you know what? Okay, I see their control ward, so now I'll just slip around here. And Keria is able to find the angle. Is that going to be enough, though, Atlas? You know, the IG comp is still really good if they can play like a safe, more standard, like regular team fight on their terms. But T1, like, they have so much burst damage here, and Faker just continues to get more and more money. The Akali getting this side lane tower. The Dark Seal is fully stacked, so plenty of burst damage.
The Shadow Flame now done as well, so he's going to be able to
Shadow Flame.
Yeah, make short work of Gala if he ever does manage to connect some of these shuriken backflips. Saw what happened to Rookie as well.
Can I
so
just
the carries need to beware. And IG, I honestly still think that they're in a great position in this game. Drake advantage is going to be theirs. The Mountain Soul, as we said, coming up in 25 seconds. That'd be soul point for them also, but it's gaining more stats for this Scion to become even more unkillable. And T1 just need to navigate around the Shy and kill everyone else before they go for it, as Wei halves the health bar of Keria with one combo.
That's gonna stink. Okay, Wei here with the 2 items. Definitely painful.
He's gonna look for the flank angle. There's a flash cataclysm to come on through. Finally, the knockup does come in now for Owner, who goes down to half health. Keria trying to get himself out of there, and he will! Gumayushi gets a decent amount of damage, but leaves himself exposed and just blows up Wei, who gets on top of him, but that's not where he wants to be. Great knockup there onto the Shy, as Doran gets on in there. He's looking for Gala, as the Shockwave does not do enough, but he does take down Keria. Fake is doing work though, and Mako is running for the hills. Doran cuts apart this Scion, and T1, it's a difficult comp to make work, but the world champ's looking pretty good with it.
The 3-tiered engage from T1. They will take them down. They will cut IG to pieces.
And it's only Rookie left standing here, and now he's looking to use that distance movement speed to run the heck out of there. T1 want to get themselves this outer turret. Their minion wave is going to wear off, so they're going to have to take a Consolation Dragon. And Rookie is still scary, but after a fight like that, T1 going to be feeling a whole lot better.
Yeah, the multiple layers of engage here. So they want to blow the summoner spells off Gala early. So teleport in from Doran. He arrives, and Owner says, okay, I'll go in first. He goes after Gala, then Keria. And Keria, as you said, like, he barely escaped with his life there. But they got their summoner spells out of Gala. Gala's kind of pretty far on the back, and so Doran can walk away, but Wei cannot on the Wukong. So Guma's able to take him down the front line. And then the next tier of engage from Doran and Owner, right back in onto Gala, and they complete the assassination.
Yeah, a very optimistic Shockwave that catches Keria mid-battle dance, but he was already out of the fight, right? He had done his contribution, and so the fact that that one comes in doesn't really mean too much for how this one goes. And yeah, some frustration here on IG's side, as you can see. It's only a 500 gold lead. The problem is this game is feeling like it's slipping out of the hands of IG. Every time these fights are gone for, we've mentioned it already, that's exactly how this composition wants to work. It's just not quite happening. And it's 3 items now on Gala. You know, that trough is not quite there anymore, and feeling a little bit better. But T1 certainly did capitalize on that time where he wasn't necessarily as strong.
Yeah, Guma, meanwhile, feeling pretty good about his Lord Doms. Doran is going deep.
Yeah, he's got 3 items now completed. The rest of T1 comes on over. That is going to be a solo Shockwave onto the Kazante as the Shy crashes into them. That is phenomenal damage as they take down Gumayushi. The Shy deals with Doran as well, and T1, now it's their turn to run the heck out of there. Faker, he goes in, he finds Gala in the back line, and then just gets shot in the head. T1 are going to fall. That's an ace for IG, who turned it all on its head.
That's going to be fair for IG as well. T1, and they just lose it all up by the top tower. IG, they're going to push top as well as great game Baron here. Rookie's going to be able to get that tower.
My God.
Dar și meciul trebuie câștigau ei alți. Dintr-o dată și-ar revenit bam și la bază.
So Rookie dodges the Q3 from Doran, and then he's also going to dodge the engage from Keria. Even though T1 are able to get the tower down, when Keria goes in, he also uses his Karma speed up. He's able to dodge. Meanwhile, IG with the engage onto Guma just blow Guma up,
Da.
and T1 are without anything left.
Uite, zoom. Karma.
Faker just realizes they're probably not getting out of there. Wants to go for some heroics, and it just does not do anything. And we mentioned it already, like this is a finesse composition out of T1. You have to get your ducks in a row. The setup has to be perfect. You cannot be going haphazard like that. The rush of blood to the head will cost them a massive amount of gold already on that Rebel Baron power play, sitting at 2,000. And that's for another 2.5 minutes that they can utilize that buff. And it's a Caitlyn. Sieging is what she loves. That's what she wants to do all game.
Oh, yes, it is. Now IG, they can group up. They can get their 4-1 split push going. They have Orianna shields. They have Karma shields. So they can kind of comfortably move up, take the vision through the jungle first, try and ward out any of these flank angles to make sure that you don't let T1 get an ideal assassination angle off.
Oh, teleport flank angle here from Faker, who gets behind IG. Let's see whether they can actually get forward. Carrier's health bar already very low as Ona taking so much damage. Puts Rookie into the Cataclysm. Is now Faker dashing forward, but they've lost Carrier already. The bullet time not quite doing that much, but the all-out comes on through. Rookie in trouble. Faker gets Gala. The Shuriken backflip doesn't land, but it doesn't seem to matter. Is down. Oh, no, never mind. Faker is going to be taken out. Way still looking for it. Doran hunting for the Shy. And Wei will survive, but Doran is looking absolutely terrifying. Gumayushi's putting the bullets into the Shy, but they are bouncing off the armor. This Scion is he's really hitting towards that immortal stage. The teleport is going to be employed here by Doran. Unfortunately for Gumayushi, all he can do is really hit minions and run. And Rookie is going to stop that from being a possibility, as he is strutting. So, yeah, Misfortune does run pretty fast. Let's see whether Gumayushi can make the great escape here, as he is going to be able to walk between these turrets, make it rain, slows down Rookie, and I think he's out. I think he's fine.
He's out.
I think Gumayushi's just going to walk it up. Never mind, there's a train coming. There's a train coming. And he just walks between the walls. Comes on through from the Shy. Can he actually connect to Q, though? That's the question. The answer is yes. Dissonance comes down, and finally the axe hammers in to Gumayushi, and he will die. But that took what felt like a year. And so maybe T1 are going to be able to reset.
IG just circumnavigated all of Summoner's Rift.
Chasing, really did. I would say that is not appropriate utilization of a Baron.
All right, well, let's take a look at the skirmish through the river now, because Wei's got his Guardian Angel, feels very confident here. Faker.
Yeah, Ace in the hole comes down. There's the Cyclone. The chain, the CC. Grand Entrance comes through just to buy some space. Carrier able to save Faker for now. Does throw down the Cyclone. Redemption is really good, though. That will keep Faker alive, and Ona now moving in.
Redemption.
Clearing out vision, but T1 now with information. But this is going to be Soul Point. The last one, T1 were able to actually take, and so this is not going to be the Mountain Soul, but every time these Mountain Drakes are stacked up, IG gets more and more difficult to take down.
So this all started because there was one war
Faker vine prin
that
spate.
IG missed. So Faker was able to teleport back for the flank that we were talking about, and so they can get into the back line here with a decent amount of damage. But a critical point comes after Faker's able to get the kill onto Gala as well as onto the Karma, and Wei just finishes him off barely here with the Wukong.
And it was the backflip. If that Shuriken backflip lands onto Gala there, that's an ace. That's a wipe. But not this time around, as you can see some frustrations here on T1. Roma often with a big smile on his face, this time around looking very serious. And the question was asked on the desk, right? Like, is T1 nervous? How are they feeling coming into this game? I don't think it's nerves necessarily, but I can see that they are certainly in this game with a lot of respect for IG and what they're capable of. And so far, it has worked and it hasn't.
Honestly, I think that IG from here, they for sure should win though, right?
Oh,
like, they have 2 Guardian Angels, and they have the Zhonya's on Rookie as well. So like, They are so safe.
They have
Orianna
to die
shields,
7
Karma
times,
shields.
I think. Like, or, wait, 8 because the Shy goes into zombie mode.
Yeah, the Shy is crazy.
Se întâmplă,
tanky,
frate.
can go into zombie mode. Like, IG are so loaded right now with all of this advantage.
Ăla-i.
So T1
Faker cu Akali face treabă, deci e incredibil. Da, își revine ăștia. Uite acolo, mamă. Sion-ul e foarte tanky, man, și nu poate să ajungă la el. Wukong dă destul damage și Faker e foarte greu, poate să mai facă față. Toți după el, uite acolo, uite acolo. Toți după el. Știu că e baban. Dar îl prinde, fii atent.
And Faker gonna have to use his dash cannon defensively to get himself out. It will work. But you can see it's a 7,000 gold lead here for Invictus Gaming. And the Baron is going to be up again in 35 seconds. And already it feels like anywhere they walk, they have control of it.
Yeah. Power in numbers here for IG as well. They can, as long as they walk
Uite,
in
vezi split,
groups,
mai face un push.
feels very confident. And they can buy a lot of time too, even if someone gets caught. You know, those things we mentioned, the Guardian Angels, the Zonias as well. So they can, also, a lot of the members can buy a lot
Top
of time
fans.
if T1 have been able to
Acces
get
cu
into a
Gadiel.
speed rush or
Am fani,
use some
pas.
sort of fog of war play to their advantage. But we're looking at that clock tick down, Atlas. Only 2.5 minutes till the mounted
7-2
soul
Faker, da,
arrives
man.
to Summoner's Rift.
269 farm.
And does throw a little bit of extra risk
Da,
into
cu
things,
Akali
but
greu să farmezi
I
așa,
think
da.
that IG should just
Da,
remain
e bun.
controlled
Numai că
in order to progress
deja
this
sunt foarte
game and
tanky
try to
ăștia
finish
și
it out.
apar destul de bine.
Could be a big one for Doran, but right now Keria in trouble.
Mamă, ce dă Wukong-ul, uite acolo.
Battle Dance will save Keria's life for now.
Ce are? Shadow
Gathered
Flame,
here by IG. Rookie
Lich Bane,
moving
își
towards
face
his top
zone.
side. If this can actually be a pick, you can see Faker is
Zone.
lurking. Well, we can't see it, but we know that he is there.
We can feel it though.
We can. Rookie can feel it too, though. He's going to just move himself out of the way. Teleport comes in from Keria to get back towards this Baron pit, and already he has to use all of his buttons to get himself out. Shockwave, he's going to catch Ona. He flashes, the Cycler collects him, and it's Rookie that grabs the kill. That's Jungler down. That should be Baron number 2 for IG.
All right, let's see. They should be able to get it. There's no smite to seal, so it would actually have to be a miracle from T1.
We'll see whether they can actually make a team fight
And
of
Guma's
this.
not on Varus.
Yeah, and the Shy has about 25 health bars. He can sacrifice some of them, and then he's going to be
smite bun.
smoked down. And T1 having to get out of there. The bullet time was a decent attempt, but it is not Guma's Varus, like you say, unable to do enough to lock down that Baron. And now, it's only a minute away from that Mountain Soul. And we were talking about souls as being a really good thing. Last game didn't necessarily work out for IG. This game, I think it's going to be a different story because I think like the Shy can go underneath the turret and like spam emotes for a minute and a half and still not die.
Yeah. 100% agree here. IG with so many advantages. Magi is even upgraded here for a rookie. He's got the book. Feeling very confident in the side lane.
Got the
They've
book.
got teleport on the Shy, 4-1 split push. Multiple people shadowing here to make sure they can just use the Baron, create all
Hai
of
să
this
vedem pe
lead-up
Faker,
space
frate, hai.
into the soul fight.
Hai, Faker!
Litter this jungle
Deci,
full of wards.
au baronul
make
e
sure that
destul de
T1
nașpa, man.
have such a difficult time to
Uite ce
approach
push fac.
that it becomes almost impossible.
Yeah, Gala does a fair bit of damage, as we can see there. 4 items now completed, getting very close.
Caitlyn aia cu Infinity, Collector, Rapid Fire.
Their base under fire, only a few shots going to be necessary here by this Caitlyn.
Da, e game.
Exposed inhibitors, there's the shockwave to come on through. It's a decent answer here as we can see, as down will go into that GA. Trying to answer this one, but you can see Gala is distracted by these structures that he can destroy. Finally, he's going to look for Doran, who just dives away and goes all out. He survives for a long time as Faker looks for the flank, but the Shy is there and says, nope, you are not coming in. And IG this time ain't throwing it away. They are going to even out the series in this best of 5 with a triple kill from Rookie. T1 gonna have to go back to the drawing board.
Lane's looking pretty spicy this year, Atlas.
Spicy stuff, man. Da, îți dai seama ce presiune acolo. Nu te vede numai Manu, te vede o țară întreagă. Nu te flame-uie numai Suciu, te flame-uie toată lumea. GG's! Hai că o fa drăguț, mă.
Absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema.
was not promised this, but I'm here for it.
Denumere
It's been a nail
puncte
biter.
lucru.
It feels like both games have been constant moments back and
GG!
forth. So hard to predict at each point of the game who's going to come out ahead. And it's been down to every single little moment, little outplays, little just displays of talent from each side.
You know what? I want to take a look at that gold graph because we've been talking about this. I want to see if the gold shows it because it's been team fight after team fight after team fight. IG do it this time. They take it until the end. They take it until
They
the
take it
Nexus
and they
is just-
throw it away.
It's been a lot of
Denumere
fights. They have to work with
collectare.
Yeah, because even for us, when we were trying to build a segment like
Denumere
this, it's like,
punct
okay, IG has
collectare.
control of this game now. No, T1 has control of this
Număr
game now. Because a lot
stradă.
of it was like T1 trying to dive on towards
stradă.
Gala. And what we saw from Gala in the last few months, we're seeing that and then more now. He has been
District.
protected very well with a
Division.
composition like this, and he is playing
Division.
he's playing this Caitlyn on the edge.
It was very clear. T1 came in with a game
Caitlyn e
plan. It
bună,
was
mă.
to kill Gala
Yes.
with this Akali,
District.
make that work. And I do think as the game went on, it started to get more and more difficult. And even if they got Gala, it wouldn't necessarily work. But this was a great example where they're trying to get on top of him. You know, you see Faker making sure Mako can't be there to assist, but he can't get on top of Gala initially.
Nu, am primit ceva mesaje că trebuie să ajungă.
But Gala's getting the peel, getting the shields, getting the support from his team.
Yeah, summoner in heal.
Livrăm 3 AVB.
The shielding from both champions. This composition I thought was really smart from IG side. I think the drafts have been great from this team. And then on top of that, their dragon controls, exceptional. The ward to be able to catch out Akali that's coming on flanks multiple times throughout this game, really well done. So like IG is
Emilia.
a new beast coming into this tournament.
Absolutely. And we saw T1 trying to
Alo?
maneuver around this.
Salut! Ok. 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 Da. Deci vrei doar să o modific în planificată, da? Ok, ce comandă îi? N-are număr, un număr. Nu vezi numărul. Nu las că o caut să văd. Bine? Bun, hai că-ți scriu. Plăcere, ceau.
I love it.
And you can't in if you're the beefiest boy on the Rift here. And I feel like this Sion especially was buying a lot of time for IG to find the perfect
Livrările la
position
Inca
to
more,
beat them
da.
in the fight.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like it gave them so much space.
S-ar dori, dar nu e.
You saw some of the times later
Au
where
fost numai
they're
una, au
autoing this
fost,
Sion.
îți
I
dai
can't
seama.
even imagine how long it would take just consistently hitting this brick wall to really do anything.
I gotta say, I got scared though.
Yeah.
I got scared. There was a lot of opportunities for T1 to find some good fights, and
No.
it took this one moment from IG on the top lane.
Gabi, să întreb pe Dana
Way and the shot
când poți cu livratul în UK.
out to claim an ace for IG.
Bine?
We already talked about how tough a composition like this is to run, and the Akali is going straight towards Gala, and it just doesn't
The
need it.
Akali.
That knockup from
Număr
Simon,
contract, număr persoane. That turn into cantitate. Unde e cantitate? Uite-l aici.
He wants to arc you onto Gala, but the
Sum of cantitate.
doesn't let him get that.
Nu, nu sum.
yeah.
Don't summarize.
But the peel is there, and they keep him alive.
Go away.
And that's why, I keep gassing up the
And
competition. Because
that's
it
all.
works
Just need to
so
add some stuff.
well done, and on top of that, I think it's crazy to take a step back and look that this
Okay.
could have been a 2-0 start to the series for
Mai
I
trebuie o
think this game.
poză.
Based off of what I thought were two great
Image.
compositions,
UPS.
really strong dragon control from them. I think they're playing out really patiently. Like Oriana, gotta push
Cu
out
preluare
top
de la
side,
ușă.
Akali was in top
UPS.
bush, Jarvan was in tri bush, waiting to get on them. But I
FedEx, da, FedEx.
patient game in this game.
And that's
287
funny,
de
because
lei.
we talked about this patience, we talked about the fact that they should have waited into that game. And for me, this
Bă,
patience
stai că trebuie să caut
throughout the
aici.
vision setups that they had.
Yeah, I feel like they took a lot more time with this one. I think they knew that with their composition in this one, really the timer was working against T1.
Yeah.
And I think T1 for me, there's been some question marks. You
Pui
know,
pe
the
Faker.
stuff that came in here didn't give me too much confidence. The Trundle in game one.
Vorbesc ei aici.
I feel like one of the concerns I had for T1 is you're coming in on a fresh
Uite-te la
path,
ei.
you're coming in not super warmed up, you're coming into Worlds. As you said, they normally are a ramp-up team. This is not them at their best. And you only have today. If you don't win this series... you
Adică
have
not
to-
them at their best. Bă, băiatule, bă, tu nu știi ce vorbești.
It's not the best form we've seen from them this year.
And meanwhile, for Invictus Gaming, I think they're honing on to what their identity
No
games, both Rek'Sai
container
and the Scion,
comments.
putting all your eggs in towards Gala, getting the
Eggs.
Soul Mage and just playing a straight, simple
What
front-to-back
eggs,
composition.
boy?
Seeing them playing Jason and swapping it between top and mid, I didn't think it was working out well for them at all. So then being able to see what is going to be
Cristian
the future
Iacob
from this
Put.
team right into this tournament, it's working out
Un
well.
pic. Cristian Iacob Put. Alo? Comments. Alo? Salut. Where ID? De ce? Name-ul e diferit. However... la procent 2F, nu? Nu? Da. Deci îi... Deci... Da, zi. Da, zi. Da, dă-mi un enilesc. Deci tu folosești now. Stai un pic. Zi-mi care e tău. 1, cât era? Stai. 144, da. Found it. Am găsit, de accept. Hey.
Sounds pretty good. I like the Lulu band, taking that away from the Yunara pairing. That can get very dangerous.
Wait, what is Rookie cooking? It could be something.
So Ari got buffed on this patch. Well, I mean, they want to see where this Galio goes. So they want the Galio flex to be fully revealed first.
And Renata is just locked. This was actually punished pretty hard by teams that have played into T1 in the past. The win rate on the Renata isn't fantastic this year for Carrier.
Bun.
But has already seen the Leona, so doesn't need to worry about it too much. And it's most likely that Smolder heading down towards the bottom side unless Rookie does want to pilot that one himself. One pick to be locked in for Doran. What is the answer to the Rumble? Or what is Faker's pick going to be? And it's looking like Annie, as that Galio flex to the top lane, will be coming on through.
Yeah, okay, so that's more what I was originally thinking, and we do get the lane answer, and we're going to have the big Annie burst engage here locked up for Faker, which means that Rookie final reveal here. Interesting Quay, does have long range, does have big AoE burst damage, scales, can also have some nice AoE CC here on the grouping.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it myself, just as far as what this composition looks like. It's already a lot of magic damage coming on through. The Smolder will be relied upon a lot in the later stages of the game. But it does feel a little bit like they could potentially get run over when it comes to the mid-game. But if the way scales, like you say, if he's able to get into position, I mean, approaching this team is going to be very, very hard. Especially if there are any choke points involved and that red carpet is laid down by the Shine.
Annie.
T1, I think this is probably the cleanest draft we've seen from them so far in this best of 5.
All right, let's see it. Game number 3 here, T1 versus IG. And we get the Smolder lock-in for Gala. Especially when the Smolder gets to the rapid fire, you're gonna have a Quay range as well as like Rumble ultimate range and rapid fire range from IG.
And the follow-up is actually pretty ridiculous, right? If they manage to get enough damage down, Cease and Desist comes in, Mom is layered on top, right? And she does a whole lot of work. And so IG, a lot of these eggs are in the Gala basket. And you know what? There's no basket that's looking better on IG at this point in time. And so game number 3, I do feel like T1 in a good spot, right? With the composition that they have, but we'll just have to see whether it's going to work against an IG that have looked tenacious in their last couple of matches. The fact that JDG made that series look like it was over in game 1, and then it was a 3-1. So IG, certainly not a team to be counted out at any stage. Let's hope that T1 have done the right adjustment moving into this game number 3. Looks like we might have a little bit of a delay moving into this next game. But honestly, it wouldn't be a T1 series without a bit of applause.
You said you had inside information.
Yeah.
Christian Jakob Wood.
Is your source still good?
My source is still good, but I still don't want to give them. So I have all the information in my vault-like brain. However, I cannot divulge any of it.
Can you tease us? Maybe some hints? Maybe like a riddle?
Silly.
What about?
Oh, not that kind of thing.
No.
What could I say?
It's really, I'm sorry, coming up with a riddle is really hard on the spot.
I was going for it. I was working on it.
Okay.
My brain was trying to figure something out. Didn't quite get there. As hi everyone, welcome to the cast. Yes, I know we don't spend a lot of time together here, but thankfully, when we get pauses,
Christian
we do get to hang
Jakob
out.
Wood.
That is fantastic.
Chat will help us craft
the riddle.
I wasn't gonna do the riddle.
Jakob
I was just gonna like
Wood.
say a word silly. That was my goal.
I
there.
like the Atlas word silly. Those are the best. Slurkle is one of your greatest pieces of work.
Oh, thanks, Kobe.
I love
you know what? A
Slurkle.
lot of my colleagues thought that Slurkle made them feel a little bit uncomfortable.
What?
And so I really
What's that,
appreciate
Mao?
you liking it. And do you know what the best part is? We get to talk about Slurkles just before I say Slurkle a whole bunch of times.
Potrečím
Because Yunara
šase.
was picked in this game. For those that weren't, watching
Alright.
the LCK, which, might be a whole lot of you, a Slurkle is just a circle that slows.
Okay, so
And we've got a few of those. I'm pretty sure there is one of those that is on the way as well. So, in fact, he has so many buttons. He's got about all of the circle abilities
Last set.
in the game.
Okay, so yeah, what is so Slurkle, you say, is slow and circle put together for
Yeah.
Yunara's W, because it doesn't do very much damage.
And also its name is like Arc of Judgment,
Yeah.
which doesn't really tell the story of what it is, in my opinion.
So
Wow.
what would you call Quay's circle? That's the eyeball he puts on the ground, that if you go into it, it's going to root you.
Yeah.
So it's a root circle.
Yeah, Rukel.
A Rukel.
A Rukel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy. You just put
That's a good
circle
one.
and
Yeah.
the CC together. The thing, when it gets a little bit complicated, right, is when you've got Leona's solo, which not only stuns, but
it's a
also
circle and
stuns.
Okay.
Sometimes you can only catch the Slurkle part of it, but
True.
then you
The
can get
outside.
hit by the stun Slurkle.
Yeah, the center.
Yeah, which really does add a whole lot. That's not even.
So is it a
confusion. I just
sturkle
put
then?
stun at
Is
the
this
beginning.
a sturkle? The center is a
Slurkle.
sturkle?
You need to put the L in.
Yeah.
So
Oh, the stun.
yes, Slurkle. You get stunned by the thing. So then the whole circle is still involved, right?
I like it. Okay.
So it has to have stun in there as well. We
Do I
really
like it,
chose the most
actually? I don't
difficult
know.
one. Yeah. We got a Torkel as well, the taunt circle.
Okay.
We've got a whole bunch of different circles in this one. But the Slurkle is the one that we're only going to be talking about. I've said the word so many times, it's lost all meaning. So a little bit of a tech pause. Do you want to have a guess? Having a guess?
Well, we've got, usually you get problems with like new champions. Maybe Hui. Hui has a lot of extra abilities, you know, so he
There
can
we
cause
go.
some
Just
problems.
trying to figure out
Maybe
what
it's
all the
Hui's
abilities
fault.
do.
Yeah, maybe it's Yunara's fault.
I'm happy to blame Hui. I do think that
As
it
a
is
champion.
on the T1 side, based on what I'm checking out on the stage right now. And hopefully it means that it's probably just a periphery type thing. Obviously I know, but I'm doing my very best to hide the fact that I know and just guessing. So yeah, I'm thinking that might be a ruse. But we'll just have to see. Doing our very best to get our techs on it and sorting it all out. As you can see right there momentarily. The Shy in meditation by the looks of things. And do you know what I love about IG? One of my favorite things about this team is that they are all such veteran players. It feels often like it's only the fan base that's prone to tilt. The team will not care. Like, the Shy can have that game one and then just come into game two and do either exactly the same thing again or have it work. And he's still going to go for those plays, still going to make it happen. And I just find that so endearing. I love it.
I mean, we have so many veterans up there and so many decorated veterans. If you think about it, in this series, every one of the players up there is either a world champion, an MSI champion, or Doran.
No, Doran won MSI, didn't he? He has one of those. He did pretty well. But also, I will not allow any Doran slander this year. In 2025, the man, and honestly, I was a bit of a doubter. I was a doubter of the trade. I felt like perhaps T1 weren't going to look like the same team, and man, those words were delicious when I was forced to eat them. Over and over again throughout the year, because Doran has definitely not been the weak link for this team this year, as we are checking just to double to make sure that we haven't been caught with foots in mouths.
Oh, he got second place. Yeah.
Oh, was he only second?
Yeah.
All right. Didn't actually manage to be on
That
the
was,
team.
yeah, because he was,
Yeah, Keen had joined
Just this year.
the extra year earlier, so wasn't actually able to do it. He was on HLE at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So Doran, still looking for that one. We'll see whether they can put an MSI trophy together, because honestly, that has been the biggest difficulty for T1 is mid-year stuff, you know? They did manage to win EWC last year, weren't able to back that one up this year around, and MSI one game away. It was not enough to take it away from a Gen.G that had been pretty good at that time of the year. Getting a little ahead of ourselves though, T1 still need to win this best of 5 in order to make it to the Swiss stage and defend their world championship. Or it could be IG making their way back. And you know what? If T1 are not at Worlds, IG has won before.
I think if IG eliminate T1 here in play-ins, they already are so popular in China. They're gonna get like statues of
China.
Yeah.
built in
There's
their
going to be
favor.
monuments.
Because
China.
T1 has eliminated the LPL so many times. at
Because it
Worlds.
comes from China.
That's a really good stat if you think about it.
That's a really good
if
stat
T1
if you
aren't at
think about
Worlds,
it.
what's the percentage of the time
just goes
that IG wins? It's like 50-50.
Da.
You know?
It's way better.
There's not that many years that T1 has not been there, and one of those years IG managed to win.
I think.
Corect. Faker,
Video
frate, hai.
games? All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We
Fuck
want to
it.
apologize for prattling on for so incredibly long. I want to say thank you to the players for pausing the game for us so that we could talk about nothing for a long
Da.
time. But now we are back and ready to get onto the Rift here for game number 3. And the fans here as well, certainly sounding pretty ready to get back onto the Rift for this one. And what are the comps again, Kobe?
Well, we
got a
did.
Hui.
We did get the Hui coming in late. I just want to give credit to Wei himself, because I came into this series, I legit thought that Owner was going to be, Owner versus Wei was going to be the biggest gap, and Owner was going to gap him. But Wei has been so good. That Wukong game definitely outclassed him. And so let's see if Wei, as the Gyos go out.
IG fans getting loud. Their first taste of victory was pretty sweet here in game number 2. And that does mean they've won one of the games, and the other game they were winning for 80% of it. So it's looking pretty good for IG at this stage. I don't know whether I'm ready to go full Raz on it, but certainly moves in the positive direction. As Carrier going to spot the Shy moving down towards this bottom side. And it is going to be a lane swap, this time built by IG. And Carrier does have full information of what's going on. So Guma standing in this brush. I don't know whether T1 are too worried about going into a lane swap type scenario, because Yunara also wants to be scaling in this game. Maybe not as much as Smolder does. And not quite as infinitely, but still going to be feeling better on a few items rather than less.
Yeah, I think this is smart from IG. You get to stack your Smolder really easily. If the Smolder had to play into the double range lane there and had to deal with the level 1 of Yunara is actually quite strong because your Q is so strong, then I think this should help out the Smolder scaling and stacking quite significantly.
Hai să vedem
Plus you get
tutorial.
out of the
Tutorialul
Galio Rumble answer there.
Ooh, Slurple flies
Annie.
forward, but doesn't manage to find the Shy.
So I guess we'll see, how much will the payment actually be this time around? The Caitlyn Karma was able to get 3 plates worth of payment of extra gold for the lane swap.
And I do feel like Caitlyn is the quintessential I'm going to destroy your turret at 4 minutes, right? Like that's the champion that she is. Yunara, not necessarily quite as much that. And once the Shy hits level 6, it's going to be even more difficult to get lane states in positions that you want, just because of the flexibility that the Equalizer gives you. Now we do have a roam over from Mako though, for a little bit of angle, hanging out in the fog of war for now to see where the Faker is going to move forward. Rookie down relatively low, and now Mako going to show himself. Molten Shield comes out, there's the flash, but it's not quite early enough as the chomp comes through, but Faker is going to live. But still, flash employed, that is a big deal. The Shy now in trouble as well, as Gumushi presses Q and does a bunch of damage. Not quite enough, the Shy will survive.
That is a nice value window for Mako, because not only do you get the flash, but also the Zenith Blade still following and connecting means a lot of follow-up damage there. They still get the stun, they get a big chunk onto Annie, and Annie with no flash and receiving a large chunk makes it even more difficult here to deal with poke around mid lane. And we see Vi's going mid lane, but Owner's bottom, and they're going for it.
Yeah, Mako's going to turn up here as they're at least looking to gank a plate towards this bottom side, as there is the knock up, and down goes the Shy. There's first blood for Owner on this Xin Zhao. This is what we wanted to see out of this, guys. Now Mako could be in trouble as well, but instead, T1 going to take their prize and back away. Way moving towards this bottom side as we say it.
Eu lucrez aici.
Get a teleport in, but remember, that's a turtle port. That's going to take a while to get in there.
Ba, mă, te bag în seamă.
Very polite, but unfortunately,
l-am băgat în seamă, mă, că am vorbit și cu Ruben.
Dude, how clean is Carrier? I mean, they
Îs la lucru, da. Da, mai trag un ochi aici. Și nu mai văd chat întotdeauna, că mai și lucru aici. Da.
Gets the rumble, they lock him up and immediately delete him.
And the bailout gives you so much
Ce faci, man? Câștigă Faker.
Carrier, speaking of kills, this could be another one. Mako just going to try and zone him away from the turret, get the Shy some much needed money. And now, looking to try and put some pressure on. Gumiushi makes his way back. A 2v2 has
Scârboși mai de acolo.
as Slurkle actually getting more value than it normally does. Carrier down below 50% though. This is
Sunt
a difficulty as the minion wave also being frustrating. And IG will need to back away. Gumiushi gets towards the wave, which is exactly what he wanted.
Trying to clean up those CS. Carrier is fine. Of course, Carrier has no summer spells after the dive, and so had to be a little bit careful there.
Yep, zapping down the wave is Guma though. And if we have a look at the CS margins between the two bottom laners, although one of them is missing, it is pretty close. Another Zenith Blade going to connect, but already a lot of damage onto Mako, but Faker is already dead. Ona gets the knock up and takes down the Leona in trade. Now Carrier and Gumiushi moving in as well. Wind becomes lightning, doing so much work, and the handshake holds onto the Shy. And now IG looking to turn it around. He's going to silence himself. Carrier gets taken out. They traded for the Rumble, then the bailout. It secures Ona his life, and he gets himself out of there. Gumiushi now trying to deal with Rookie, whose way is getting a bunch of work done. The flash forward from Guma, he's crazy. And Rookie's going to be able to get himself out of there, but man, Guma is angry about what happened in Game 2.
Honestly, I love the action in this series. It is getting bloody in Game 3, and it's very heavily in favor of T1, this blood, Atlas.
Yeah, the Shy is unhinged, man. He just goes for anything that's a potential play. As now Faker eats another Zenith Blade, but now Carrier going to be moving over alongside him. But there is the ulti out of Rookie doing so much work with the bailout. Can they actually keep him alive? The answer's no. Rookie gets the kill. And this way could become a problem as this game goes on.
The level 6 advantage for Rookie here. They're able to take down Faker in the aftermath, just as we're saying, oh wow, all this blood, T1 benefiting. They just had previously an over 1,000 gold lead, but it gets chopped down immediately as Mako and Rookie were able to answer. So Atlas taking stock.
Yeah.
After all the skirmishes here, through the river, Owner benefiting a lot, but Owner now under attack. He gets teleport.
He got the crab. The teleport is coming in here from Carrier to try and back him up, and now the grand entrance, the hero's entrance, going to come on through. Justice Punch to catch up to Mako. The bear is thrown down. The Faker's like, you can have my bear. I'm just going to go back to the wave.
Yeah, a little vengeance there from the mid ganks that Mako's been throwing towards Faker's way. Gets the bear over the wall, secures the kill here onto Mako, and probably secures this dragon. Yeah, meanwhile, I do want to say that, point out, look at that top lane, because the mini-map there, Smolder just been having a very easy time up alone. We haven't had the camera up here by Gala. That's what Smolder wants, send a matchup versus a melee champ, stacking away, and, good experience for it. Wait.
Oh dear, handshake comes on back through here onto the Shy. Equalizer goes down. There's the Crescent Guard as Ona trying to keep himself alive. He gets the smite down onto the dragon. As now they go in, Wei looking for the engage angle, but the bailout is going to be there. Gumiushi keeps himself alive! And Mako will be able to take him down with the help of Rookie off to the side. The Shy on no health, as Faker will once again claim some revenge. One little Q is going to be enough to do it. And Ona takes down the Shy underneath his turret, and so they get the Drake and they win out in the fight.
Owner goes for the chase. He flashes for it. 5 kills for Owner.
That's a big Sins out.
I reverse cursed. I opened up the game saying, oh wow, Wei. All right, well, here we go. Owner, he had a good ultimate there, so he popped Wei back with his Crescent Guard, then goes back and gets the dragon. And then, as you say, this Renata bailout has been buying so much time in so many of these skirmishes. Did revive Guma, even though Rookie still can snipe him and take him down. Huge for T1. They collect the other kills, and now we're going to get to see the Owner part of it. Probably just W flashes. Yep. W flashes, hits it, goes under tower.
And the Q is enough there from Faker as well. And Rookie, without a front line, is unable to do too much. So the Wei hasn't died yet this game. 2-0-2 is Rookie. He is still in a great position. They're not doing a massive amount of damage at this stage. Merc Treads are what he had to go for to respect the Annie stun. And so it does mean that he's going to take a little bit more time to get fully online.
Yeah. At the very least, he did invest in a Dark Seal, so that's always nice.
That's true.
When the game is this bloody, and you can get that extra value. But definitely, like you're saying, yeah, it does need to scale up a bit with this champion. Get some more AP behind it. And they've got that Gala stacking away on Smolder. 85 stacks for himself, only 9.5 minutes in. Quite nice there. The Cole been ticking down, very calm up there with their lane swap that they opted into.
And they've been opting into a lot of things, like even skirmishes, when they're always going to be a player down at this stage of the game. So honestly, it feels like it could be a lot worse for IG. But T1 still with about a 2,000 gold lead here as we crest the 10-minute mark. Feels good for the blue side team. But it does feel like there is still that clock ticking down. As Bum, speaking about come down, is going to be joining them towards the top side, but it's just Gala dealing with the minion wave. And Wei picking some petals, moving towards Faker, who is on the right side of this lane right now. Well, the left side of this lane if you're watching the screen, but the correct side of the lane. And now some plates going to be eradicated from this top lane out of turret.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is when I was talking about this was what I was expecting from Owner. This was more along those lines of what we're kind of expecting coming in. And he's got this big gold lead. Early Sundered Sky completed always makes you like the king of Summoner's Rift for junglers.
Yep.
With all that extra money. And so he just continues to apply pressure, circles back around here just to make sure that they are going to have the extra push right back in and then can finish up the camps.
Yep, Mako now going to be holding this wave so the Gala can collect as many of these minions as possible. And Rookie, that's a big chunk onto Faker. If he lands the combos, the wave really does a whole lot of work. And it's kind of cheating, right? You get double equalizers in fights as well if he presses the right combo.
Yeah, it's not fun for Annie. You're short range, so you just get pelted.
And Faker going to take a lot of damage from that spiraling despair. But as you can see, normally, Faker doesn't have too much trouble against the LPL. And you can see also that it's not always 3-0s. It's not clean, but he gets it done in the end. And as we can see right now, T1 in a pretty good position to get themselves towards match point. But on the other side,
there are some players in IG that have had a lot of success versus T1 specifically at MSI and have beaten T1, the organization, in the past to win MSIs.
And look, as you can see here,
Bă, băieți, bă. Da, pe YouTube, da, pot să... Și dacă aș face numai pe YouTube, aș putea să dau calitate mai mare. Știi? Că Twitch-ul nu suportă mai mult de atâta. Nu în pixel, dar în bitrate.
Also want to point out that it was important that Faker had Keria on speed dial on that last, Hui ultimate that he soaked under tower, and he was like,
Ce face Faker cu Annie?
please,
Muri de 2 ori.
redeem me. I need the
E clar,
healing.
câștigă.
So he was able to survive that, but yeah, it is the onslaught from the Hui trying to poke him down under tower, creating the pressure. Still
Și-o
though,
dat
Owner is
ghost-ul.
massive with those 5 kills, so he's going to work in tandem with the duo lane there to go steal away the blue, use that pressure, the benefit of all these early skirmishes that they have been able to get for themselves and use that power.
Yeah, speaking of power, this is exactly what T1 wanted as far as this matchup is concerned. Galio has been historically pretty good into the Rumble. Finally, we are actually seeing those two champions going head-to-head. It has a bunch of the items that makes you feel a lot better in the matchup as well. There's a whole bunch of buttons going to be pressed, and you can see that Rookie feeling very good about his position in this game.
Mamă, ce dat,
As you
man.
mentioned before, Ona is going to be able to take down this
Hui-ul ăla.
dragon. See whether this is going to be the cease and desist that will actually work, and it does in the blink of an eye. Tibbers gets angry, but he is just 50 gold going over
Da,
to IG
fraților.
at this stage. As now Gala sneezes on the minion wave. Ona comes on over, but they have full information as to what's happening. And with Rookie and Wave unlocked from the mid lane, there is no way that this dive is happening.
Ooh, yeah, they defend the bottom side and they delete the mid lane there. That was very nicely done. Super easy for IG. Rookie here on the way. Looks like he's going to scale pretty quickly, Atlas. He's going to be accelerated in that scaling endeavors. Almost a 2,000 individual gold lead. And we mentioned the early Dark Seal with all these extra stacks, so much extra power.
Bate Hui-ul ăla, man. Dar și Annie, după ce să faci un pic de farm, un item 2, vezi ce burst are.
And if you're looking at how the comps are going to interact later, even though T1 had this big early gold lead, not only did that get chopped down there with the extra kill, but even so, IG are not too scared of later on because they do have range advantages later on. They've got really, really quickly stacking Smolder here, 145 already for Gala.
145 at 14 and a half minutes.
Galio ăla, sper să facă
He
treaba.
is stacking super
Eu?
quick. Their Hui, like we said, is
Cu facher.
is doing very well in the opener. So,
Cu T1,
you're
logic.
going to get to that rapid fire cannon
T1, frate.
really quickly. So then you can use your like rapid fire poke, your Hui poke.
Să ia
and as long
Faker
as
iară
I choose
Worlds.
this correct timing,
Să învețe
I can
că vârsta nu contează.
It's
Știi
gonna
ce
be
zic?
like hard for T1. They're going to have to choose their moment really quickly since they are at the range disadvantage, and you just kind of like got to go for it and make the play fairly quick.
Yeah.
Owner might be able to do that. I mean, he is very strong on Xin, and maybe can find a way to just kind of bully himself in there and
Aici
get a Galio ult on top.
să decide cine mere la finale sau semifinale, ceva de genul. Dar cine pierde, ăla e. Nu mai ajunge în junior.
Way's going to make his way down towards the bottom side, and Doran on the Galio is on our screen, but not for long, as the Shy is going to be able to burn him down. Just checkmate.
Am făcut-o very stand. Am aș dau flame unul altul.
They knew that T1 were on the top side of the map, collecting those grubs. 3 grubs for 1 Doran.
Yeah.
You like that trade?
I would say it's probably not necessarily the best, especially with this ticking time bomb that is the small dragon that is here on the top side. I feel like IG have found stability, and they've also found themselves a slight gold lead. The one thing that's in T1's favor is stacked up 2 Drakes, and Hextech Soul is ludicrous. We have not necessarily seen it be, you know, immune to losing, but it does certainly help out.
Bottom.
And Gumayusi on this Yunara has not necessarily had, you know, those big team fights to really prove himself just yet. We'll see whether he will be able to get that space in order to do so. Because he not only has bailout available, but he also has the Galio there with a heroic entrance. He's got this Xin Zhao who's mega fed to help stand in front.
Mega fed.
It is going to work.
5-0 are Xin.
Once again, the Shy versus Doran on the top side right now.
Și n-am mai văzut magazinuri buni, man. Xin e bun ca și campion. Uite ce outfarmează ăsta, Hui pe Faker. 176 contra 140.
Whoa, there's a flash taunt as Owner's going to move on up to try and take down the Shy. They're walking down the red carpet, he flashes away, the Winds of War comes in, and there's the knock-up. 3 Talon strike, and down goes the Shy. The 4th death for this Rumble, but killing the Shy, is that a win condition? I don't think so, unless, although I don't think it's a win condition for T1 anyway. As Zenith Blade goes in, the handshake is going to be immune to flash out.
Ia, lăsați pe Faker în pace, că de ciudă pe el.
Able to get over the top as well
Lăsați omul în pace, să mai respire.
That is really huge actually for IG to be able to get the flash down on Annie, because if you're looking at ways for T1 to actually force on IG and close distance to that range advantage as the tower does go down in favor. Oh, wait a second.
Ooh, who won? Was that T1 that were able to grab it?
That was very close. Let's get the update.
The shoes did go over to T1, so they, I believe, were able to lock that one up.
Regardless, though, without the flash, like they're really going to be counting on flash engages on the side of T1 to close distance on the Smolder, on the Hui, that are going to be so powerful. So
there is Rookie finding some pot shots here, and it's very difficult for T1 to deal with long-range poke. Gala already starting to do damage here as the redemption comes through. Get the health bar back up and ready here for Ona, and they have to be decisive, and they are going to be so as the ulti comes on down there from Ona. Mako taking a lot of damage as Mom will be the follow-up just to zone them away from the area. This is sole point for T1, but they've already invested quite a lot into this play as Mako, without that flash, like you said earlier, is going to turn up, and it's going to be an honest 5v5. The equalizer is there for the Shy. We'll see whether he can layer it in well. As Gumayusi standing in front, wanting to try and find an angle as they are able to take down the Dragon. There's Soul Point, but there is the equalizer down as well from IG. Not necessarily getting the work done that they wanted to, though, as the Bear is going to crash on top of the Rumble. He's the first to go down as Gumayusi grabs a kill in the fight, and it's Doran staying alive for so long. IG, that was not the play you were looking for.
Yeah, that was definitely not it. The Shy walks in, he gets blown up right into Tibbers, right into T1. They actually get all of their kills. 3 people down on the side of IG. T1 are going to just explode with the gold here.
Yeah, this tower is going to explode as well, Kobe. Down this one will go. And Gumayusi is the hugest benefactor out of that fight. He already had 2 items completed. We have Doran crashing Shelly into a wall, because why not? And now the Yunara Smolder conversation gets a little bit different, as she is now sitting on 3-1 and 3.
That was such an overchase. This is where you also want the comms listening. Okay, so Wei initially tries to go for the steal there, and they toss him his flash on the way out. But then they walk forward. The Shy is so far away from the whole rest of the team, and they're going into Owner and, Doran in the pit, who are both tanky. And they're fine in the back of the pit, so the Shy just gets blown up by the other members of T1 on the top side. Then the rest of IG like funneled themselves into the bad spot, right into the Galio ultimate that's in a great circle itself inside of the Dragon pit. And so that was...
And speaking of circles, the Spiraling Despair was only on to Carrier.
Yeah.
And he went down to like 2 health and then didn't even die. And from that point on, Rookie had no mana, was not actually able to participate at all. And now we've moved to a 3,000 gold lead, and Soul Point and Otacon is on the map. T1 are looking for an angle in, but IG do manage to get a few extra members down here early.
Truly a head scratcher there from IG. T1 very happy though. Owner 7 kills, fully stacked bounty on his head. He's got his upgraded boots as well, both items. So yeah, they want to force around Otacon. T1 definitely would like another skirmish here immediately afterwards. This Galio ult has a little bit longer on a cooldown, so may not immediately. They could wait for Doran's cooldown here for Galio ult to come up and then force.
We'll see whether they do look for that angle, as you do have Heroic Entrance able to move him from the mid lane, so extra pressure available here for T1 as the Chu goes wide. And Snare is going to connect onto Owner, but damage onto the Xin Zhao isn't exactly the most permanent. Okay, the flash in from Owner, he finds the knock-up, they chase after Gala. Redemption, can it get the kill as Hostile Takeover comes on through as well? Gala surviving for a very long time, the flash forward from Gumayushi though puts him down, and Rookie will follow suit, both carries in the blink of an eye, and this one is firmly in T1's hands now.
T1 want another fight around Otacon, and they get their fight. Nice initiation there. They're gonna get the prize afterwards as well.
And man, if you like, when I was looking at this composition, I wasn't thinking Flash Auto was going to be the engage option, but that's exactly what Owner was going for. As Gala does get knocked away to relative safety, but he had no health. He just couldn't fight anymore.
Yeah, Carrier's ultimate does follow, and then Guma's like, I got this. Goes in with the flash, with the dash, closes the distance to chase down the rest of them. And Owner, so much better of a game this time around. You know, charges up his 3-talent strike, preps for the engage, goes for the flash, gets the initial flash out of Gala there, making the shoulder vulnerable to the follow-up engage from T1, and they just blow it wide open. IG had been stacking so well. I mean, now Smolder, is 236, but they've lost all this big advantage of gold lead that they had and all of everything that was going for IG. Now it's T1 with very large item advantage off the gold, and Dragon Soul coming imminently.
And Hextech Soul will mean that this poke composition is going to struggle a little bit to maintain their position, right? Because it's all about holding on to the phalanx, hold the line, as it were, as the Hextech is going to be leaving Owner out to dry. Now Gala flaps over the wall. It's so much damage, though. Still, Circle not going to be saving the Xin Zhao, and that is shut down money over to Rookie.
That Hex technology is dangerous, Atlas.
It certainly
They warned us against this in Arcane.
We learnt about it from Arcane. It's now Rookie. Oh no, you should have learnt about it as well. Doran going to be able to finish him off. He's now in an awkward position, but they don't have to deal with the Hui, who's such a problem. Faker finds the angle onto the Rumble, and somehow their most fed member dying turned into an inhibitor turret?
Yeah, T1 are just gonna flash on you. Everyone flashing over walls here. Doran flashes in, Faker flashes in, T1. They actually even take, wait, Dragon's going down?
Yep, they were looking for the Dragon here. Hostile takeover will be avoided for now, but it's a double taunt beautifully placed here by Doran. It is Wade denying the soul, but they also managed to get themselves out. The Hex Gates are gonna come on through, as well as Gala is gonna survive on about 10 health and get out with the highway robbery. I don't think it's going to save the game, but it was pretty funny as another one comes in and Faker says, yeah, fool me once. Fool me twice. No, that's not going to happen. As Voltbreaker gets way over the wall, and Owner has respawned and will be able to take down the Vi. Wants to be able to hand the kill over, but isn't going to do so, and will be able to secure it here. 18-8 is the kill score. There's been a lot of deaths in this game, and it's starting to get silly.
Casting with you is always fun, Atlas, but man, I am having fun this series.
Yeah.
Is this what they call the T1 circus?
No, this is called Rise Group, baby. That's what we like to call it. T1 has decided to give us a little bit of a taste from the LCK, and we appreciate it. They were, of course, in the Legend Group, but this has Rise all over it.
This has been so much fun. These Hex Gates just providing the extra layer of comedy over the game. And after all of these shenanigans, we are still heading towards a Hex Soul. We are still heading towards another opportunity for T1 to try and collect it. IG, though, they did a good job of avoiding the first one and getting some kills on the way out, too. So, Gala, as we mentioned, with this Smolder, still could be a problem. Of course, with all the extra gold that T1 got with the last like 10 minutes of play or whatever, is going to make it a lot more interesting.
Certainly will. Gumayusi does have his Bloodthirst now completed, so 3 items are done for the Yunara. Still probably wanting to get one more to feel fantastic, but still looking good. 2,000 gold in the lead. But we know, I mean, it's Smolder. Like, infinite scaling is a thing that we're going to have to deal with later and later into the game. So T1 still feeling like that clock does exist. 5,000 gold is pretty good for 25 minutes, but it doesn't look good for 35 minutes. And so let's see what kind of moves T1 are going to be able to make, as the Baron has been up for 2 minutes' time. And you can imagine they do want to claim control of the area, try and force this objective as best they can. Look for some turns. Hexgate's going to come on through here as Ono makes his way over. Gala up pretty far. Looks like T1 are just going to start it. Okay, Rookie gets some damage down onto Faker. Heroic Entrance comes on in. Faker survives for such a long time as it's Jungler for mid laner. And I think T1 are feeling pretty good about that. No smite left on the Rift, and T1 are back on the objective again.
Yeah, they're going to force IG to come to them.
All right, hostile takeover comes through. The immediate cleanse out from Gala, though, who's doing a lot of work. Gumayusi just dives into the front line. I don't know whether that's a good call, as the taunt is going to go wide. Now Gumayusi has to avoid everything as the ulti from Oda. He goes down into his GA,
nice.
and they take out Mako. I don't know how this is working, but it's looking pretty good at the moment for T1. But the shutdown comes in. The answer from Gala. And T1 will have to back away.
Ooh, Gala able to kind of clutch here. I mean, honestly, I thought Owner was going to stay in when he revived from his GA. Maybe it's a miscommunication because Owner flashed out when Doran went in to go for the further engage onto Rumble. So a little bit of miscommunication there for T1 in a clutch moment. And it opens up the door here for IG, Atlas.
And it closes the door on the T1 Baron, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was what they were looking for. And it almost looked like they were able to claim it.
Now
Not
IG.
in the end. Oh man, I am so scared of Gala. This little dragon just does so much damage. They've started off the Baron themselves now, but they're looking for a turn angle. Gala taking a lot of Baron damage, as we can see. Doran getting in amongst it immediately. Regrets that decision. Is able to flash his way out. But that is a big cooldown. You mentioned flash engages are what T1 are all about. That is not going to be available here for the Galio. Keria moving on over. They want to take control of this, as Keria is well and truly far up in this lane as they look for the Shy. He flashes out of the way of the taunt. That looks pretty good for Gumayusi. He's able to finish him off. Still, Rookie does so much damage and he's held in place as Wei says no to Gumayusi, and he's so much more important to this team than the Shy is to IG. As long as Gala is alive, IG can win fights.
Oh man, they have to commit so far to get the kill that then they're giving back the trade kill each time. And IG do get to push the minion waves after, and they still, like, they have objective bounties up for IG because of the 3 dragons, because of the gold lead for T1. Wait a second.
They're going to be face checking here as the Vault Breaker brings Wei in, but he likes that opportunity. As you can see, Rookie over to the side, and he's starting to do more and more damage with double burn items now completed. Gala takes some Winds of War damage. T1 are able to back themselves out, but this is another opportunity for Soul that it looks like T1 are going to get denied. Oh, are they just going to move towards the Baron? Is that going to be the opportunity here, as the Drake will be secured here by Wei, but he's going to be out of position on a potential Baron take. Gumayusi now going to be moving back forward. And T1, this is looking so dicey. That gold lead is evaporating as we speak.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fake gold lead because of how well IG, scale with their range later. Gala and Rookie here on the Hui and the Smolder. are so dangerous. So you're looking at the flashes on T1, and all of the initiators do not have their flashes anymore.
Yep.
So Gala can play so aggressively. His cleanse is coming back up.
And Cease and Desist just came off cooldown, so Wei, he can do it again. He can find another angle onto Gumayusi, who does have his flash up, but flashing isn't going to help you when the Vi is definitely just going to throw you into the sky and slam you down. T1 are going to be pushed away from this river. The Dragon taken for free here by IG, and T1 unable to find any sort of avenue to get themselves priority around the Baron. And now that gold advantage, half of what it was when we were talking about it before. T1 gonna have to find something and find it soon.
Well, Guma might find an Infinity Edge soon.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So that would be something. That would be some big damage here. He has been jumping in and collecting a lot of these extra kills here when T1 need to get scrappy. But the key flashes, okay, Owners is the closest to coming back up.
Yeah, his GA also on the way as well. More than 3/4 done.
Atlas, Keria has swapped over to a Smite here for Spellbook Smite. Are they going to do some objective stuff here?
Some shenanigans,
some
perhaps?
Shenanigans, perhaps. Maybe make IG come into a position where they get a really good Renata ultimate or something for themselves.
See whether that is going to be the angle. We know that it's going to be the Baron because it's T1. They do like Barons. It's something we've said before. There's a reason. As IG, they know this. Going to look to try and replace that ward. Rookie with a lot of extra range is able to deter Carrier from staying around the area. And
Carrier's area.
Clear out this wave towards the top side as well. T1, I think, getting ready for a play. Slurkle slows down the Vi here as the sneeze is going to come on through, but Gala is just getting so much more scary. 370 stacks! The execute threshold is going to be 50% soon!
at least that did get changed and nerfed, so.
Yeah, you do need a lot more stacks than that. However, you know, as the game goes on, those stacks get easier and easier to get, as long as you stay fighting over and over again. Total gold, it's going to be Gumayusi in the lead, but Rookie hot on his heels, as we can see here. And Gala getting pretty close as well. The flash over the wall there from Wei, as they're looking to try and take down the enemy jungler, and Wei, there's just no option. He's staying alive for a long time, but there's no follow-up, there's no option. And IG, now just a man down and a smite down for this next fight. Ona looking a little bit lower, but he has that GA back off cooldown once again. And they're on the Baron once more. Doran, is he gonna get turned on as Gala does a lot of damage, as you can see there. The Slurkle slows him down. And now Faker looking to chase them out of this river. Hostile takeover just to buy the space, and the purple worm will be the reward. T1 managed to capitalize on Wei's mistake.
Huge for T1. Kill off the jungler, grab the Baron. Now they can take so much more. All right, they were going to have a problem, you know, sieging and actually taking towers. But with the Baron buff, this is just what they need. Doran's got a Medjay's, by the way. 12 stacks on that Medjay's for that Galio. Definitely some power there. All right, T1, is this Baron going to be exactly what they need to actually tip it over? Because the next Dragon Soul that comes up is just over a minute away, so they can use this Baron to take so much extra space on the map.
Yeah, that's the thing, is if they guarantee this next Drake with the Baron, oftentimes, right, you don't have just this monopoly of Drakes that T1 have put together early. That Soul Point is so incredibly important, and it's likely that T1 will be able to make it impossible for IG to contest around that Dragon Pit, especially when their composition is kind of finicky, right? You do need to get into position to really work so that Rookie can take these pot shots and utilize the vision advantage that he does have. As you can see there, if he can do it, Carrier almost dies. But things are getting dark on this map, and look at this. It's lit up completely by T1 and their vision.
Guardian Angel on Owner, Zhonya's on Doran. A lot of survivability for those people that want to get right in the front too. Faker here, trying to play around some pockets of vision, play around some walls. He's got his flash ready and willing to use it.
As Doran just going to be rocketing towards this bottom side of the map. The Shy going to be spotted out here as the fear is good onto Doran. Takes half of his health bar and he's still burning. As the Redemption, not actually going to be used for the Galio. He is just going to get sniped here off to the side, and buying so much time is IG. As T1, they still have the Baron, but you wouldn't know it from what we're seeing in this game. As the teleport to bring the Galio back, that might be the opportunity. This could be a 50-50 as Owner in position, but he wants to start the fight instead. They take down the Drake. That's going to be the soul for T1, and Mako limping out as cease and desist is going to do nothing at all. Faker just throws the fire away, and Rookie goes down on the back end, and T1 just steamroll them.
Gooba got the soul, and T1 are gonna get the game. The Shy's running, but there's nowhere for him to flee. T1 will walk inside the base.
Yep, they're just going to push this minion wave forward, and it looks like match point for T1. Our fourth seed from the LCK will crash down these Nexus turrets and see whether they can, in fact, make it to the Swiss stage and hold on to hope for 3 in a row. We'll take another Nexus going down, though, and IG, they do tend to like it on the ropes.
Woo.
I love this series.
What a series we have. Let's see if the analyst is loving it as well. The action just continues in this one.
It's an absolute banger, game after game after game, and we were wondering, it is T1 in the end taking us to match point here, calm and collected, and I love the fact that when push comes to shove, you can always count on Owner.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Owner was absolutely massive in that early game. It got a little bit chaotic, I've got to say. You know, Gala came up huge on the Smolder. I felt like maybe IG didn't have the patience for that comp, but they definitely started to make it work in the mid game.
That's the thing. I was like, the composition looked great. I know both of us were looking at this game and saying, okay, we like it from Invictus Gaming, but can they operate it? Because I've seen what the Shy has done in game 1. I've seen his career overall. If he sees somebody at low HP bar, he will just full send it. And Renata hard counters his entire personality. So that one was tough, especially since a lot of Owner's early kills outside of the dive, of course, was just basically the Shy going in, looking for an early fight, and Gala being, please stop.
And we were talking about T1's composition so far and their approach they had in this series. Ox, do you feel like it's getting better now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is exactly what you sort of want. You have Fake for a utility pick. You have Owner on the Xin Zhao with the Renata to back it up as well. And here's an example where you see IG setting up for a pick, an overstep here from the Shy, trying to go in. And you see the bailout. Carrier doesn't put it on himself, puts it on his jungler instead. And it means Owner's able to turn the play around. And another example here where the bailout comes out clutch and it's an overcommit from IG. I feel like they were forcing too much in the early game when it wasn't necessary.
Exactly. Like, this fight is not necessary. Like, mid lane is getting completely punished. This is a great game from Rookie. Of course, gets the actual snipe in that fight. But, like, he is owning mid lane. You even see Vi coming in to, like, help with a dive bot throughout mid. But then the game is just accelerating through all of this. And now you have an extra strong Xin Zhao.
Yeah, and we saw IG, they kept on going, they kept on trying, but there's a point, even with a Smolder, it's getting harder to make out plays.
Like, we saw how strong Gala eventually became, and I feel like if they weren't at such a deficit when they got to that point, the game would have been a lot easier.
Yeah, and he was stacking incredibly well. I mean, we've been seeing these lane swaps, and the fact that he was put up in the top side of the map against the Galio, I thought was great for him. And so it's just another game where I feel like Gala is doing a lot, and if his team wasn't, like, putting themselves in a hole, this would be a completely different series.
Is it going to be enough for them to come back here, though? Because T1 taking us to match point here, it was in IG's favor, I want to say, couple misplays aside on the side of the Shy in the first part of the series. It feels like T1 with the draft they have right now and the way they're playing together, it's not looking great for IG.
It's not. But I gotta hold firm. Every time I flip-flop, I am wrong.
Where's the jacket?
Well, I was about to say, where's the jacket, Raz? What are you doing?
Okay, fine, man. I'll put it back on. I have to. Someone has to. Like, the thing about
Why'd you take it off?
No flip-flops around. No.
Look, I was still holding firm with him, but I was like, yes, the confidence is a little whimpering. But yes, it's a little hot in the venue, too. A lot of people here, of course. Yeah.
All right.
The sun is beaming down on him.
I'm just hearing excuses.
Oh, my God. Look, a little bit shaky in confidence, but I think what we're seeing from this team is, like, really good foundations. Then T1 just has the aura.
You guys want to tell me what's going to happen next? What do we want to see from Ether team? What have we learned so far from both of these teams? Again, one spot in the main event in the sweet stage tomorrow at the end of this series. I see President Gala. I see what I think is an Ornn.
The Shy must be on Orin duty, all right?
Okay.
If we can put in an extra kitten in the composition as well, like an Enchanter support, that would be nice. But for me, just put on the Orin duty. I think this team has been doing well when they get into the late stage games. That's also tracks, I think, in their regular season and also in playoffs. If they're even, they do quite well in late game team fighting. We just need to see that, and I feel like you must protect the president.
Yeah, I feel
What
like
about team? I mean, yeah, of course.
for me, you know, it was pretty straightforward. Shut down Gala. You know, I think they did a pretty good job in some of these games. Some strong early skirmishes for Ona, like the Zinzao worked really well, and Lake of Insurance. I think the Yunara definitely did that there. But these games have been messy back and forth. So I think the game 2, when they had the Akali, didn't give them the outs when they got to the later stages. So making sure they have that scaling option when they get to the later stages.
And we're going deeper and deeper into both teams' champion pool here. Again, playing in Fearless Draft. Any specific champion that we want to see so far? We see the goal graph. I think it's every game has been back and forth. Maybe the most controlled game from T1 here. So I'm, again, fairly worried for IG for the rest of the
35k damage. You're asking about a champion. Let the Kai'Sa go. Don't ban the Kai'Sa. Let him have it.
Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm begging.
T1 must have understood how to play around IG so far, and they're the first team taking us to match point here. Can IG bring it back? Can they bring us to game 5? Can they save their chances of making it to the main stage and advancing to Sweet Stage tomorrow? We're gonna take a short break and we'll be back right after this.
Front, wanting to try and find an angle as they are able to take down the Dragon. There's Soul Point, but there is the equalizer down as well from IG. Not necessarily getting the work done that they wanted to, though, as the Bear is going to crash on top of the Rumble. He's the first to go down. It's Gumushi, grabs the kill in the fight, and it's Doran staying alive for so long. IG, that was not the play you were looking for.
T1, they actually get all of their
players in the world are here.
They can just burn this one down. Oh my God, he'll roll it by 9.
You are going to see them like you've never seen them before.
What it will as the Arcane Storm doing so much work, and Genji, they are just going to ace them.
누구 만나도 이길 수 있다는 자신감 정도로만 생각하고 있습니다.
Genji, the EWC winners. Locking down the Drake is now Doran. Decent position, double break down.
Cause I stand tall in my environment. How could I ever close my eyes and stay silent since they try to take me down with their violence?
Oh, they go back in. Baker flashes in, and down goes Knight.
Alright guys, I just landed in China. Let's go.
Play the local way. Pay your way.
Have you ever seen the Great Wall at night?
Play the local way. Pay your way.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Worlds 2025 play-ins. It is time for match point between IG and T1. T1 managing to make it to 2 games in this series, 1 away from the Swiss stage and keeping their hopes of defending their title alive. IG, they could end it all for them right now, but they're gonna have to win this game and bring us to Silver Scrapes if we want to do it. And honestly, Kobe, it could happen. Right?
It could. I mean, with the way that these games been going, at any point in the game, you could tell me either team was still going to win, and I'd be like, okay, I can see it.
Yeah, get behind it.
Somebody could throw, somebody can get caught, somebody can make a huge play.
I mean, it is actually a game of catch, isn't it? It's just throws and catches,
Big
over
plays,
and over again.
big
and
moments, Atlas, big moments.
I mean, that's what it all comes down to.
So, when we were talking about this, and we're getting deep into Jungle Pool now, is it time for a Nocturne game?
Oh.
Lee Sin ban already coming out versus Owner.
I mean, these jungle pools are really getting thinned out.
And Pantheon, so Pantheon got his jungle clear gutted and then repatched in. So they like...
Still feeling strong, though. I feel like Pantheon is something that T1 may have missed out on here in this ban phase. I think Wei is also like, if you have a look on the Chinese broadcast, they had Wei as the MVP of Game 2. The guy was absolutely fantastic. I think that the Vi performance outside of getting caught around the Baron was great. I mean, ultimately, not as good towards the end, but...
except for that one where we lost the game.
And you were talking about it. There it is. There's the Nocturne to be locked in here for Owner.
Okay, so we do. So how many cool Nocturne comps can you come up with? Because Nocturne is just so fun with all these darkness comps.
Well, Ariana is missing, so we're not going to get that one.
Right, and so maybe like Kennen. You know, you get these flanking Kennen. Nico's already been banned out from Fearless, so you can't do the Nico either. But like, I just love the types of comps that Nocturne encourages.
My favorite one is like the peekaboo composition, where you just pick Nocturne and TF.
Okay.
It's like turn out the lights and peekaboo.
I was gonna say I love Nocturne and Fiddlesticks.
Oh,
because you can turn out the lights and then you get Fiddlestick spheres.
And then you get double jungle as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can do that as well.
As Gumiushi is going to lock in the Ashe. This is what we were talking about all morning. We were like, is someone going to play it? And you were pretty excited about the Ashe buff.
I swear Ashe right now with these scaling AD buffs is really insane.
Wait, I mean, Carrier could also be playing it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they are definitely the team that definitely pilot double range, aggressive bottom lanes well.
This is the T1 Kryptonite. The Ziggs has been locked in. They've been better at dealing with it. But this is still a dangerous thing, something that has tested T1 in the past, and Gala will now be piloting the crazy Pyromaniac towards bottom side of the map. Nautilus alongside him as well, so showing their hand as far as that bottom lane is concerned.
And we've had so many lane swaps as well that even if you picked like a really strong duo lane, I feel like it would just get lane swapped out of, so I do like this.
Could theoretically still play Ziggs in the mid lane as well. Something that does remain flexible. Speaking of remaining flexible, I think picking an AD here would be a mistake if you do intend to put Carrier on the Ashe. I'd expect to see something else. Maybe a top laner that they can then protect in the ban phase themselves. And that is the line of thought that they're going for, as the Ornn will be locked away for most likely Doran. We've got two champions now that Carrier could theoretically play.
True. I mean, if we play the game of like, hey, Carrier could play this.
Yeah, honestly, you just have 5 champions and then you try and figure out the most likely one.
Dangerous game to play. But with Nocturne, these aren't the typical of like, ooh, you know, you like get a flanker or something with Nocturne. But long range engage of Ashe arrows and Ornn ults are also super annoying when the lights are out.
Yeah.
So you have these super, super long-range pick potential on T1. Ashe arrows, Ornn ultimates, Nocturne.
And we were also talking about the fact that the engage options in the last game were relatively limited, especially around flashes. They're not limited anymore.
You know, everybody's got
everyone is engaged. Even Owner is just a missile, so he is also engaged.
And similar for IG here, you know, with point and click with Nautilus, I love like Ziggs combo kill, you know, comps where point and click with Nautilus, point and click with Pantheon as well to lock people in place, get big Ziggs combinations. So you can go kill combos, you know, you hook somebody in, root them in place, knock them back, satchel charge, big bombs, and both of them have a little bit of global too. Ziggs ultimate semi-global, really good with dealing with side waves and going to manage your macro a little bit easier.
Yep.
And Pantheon ultimate, but let's catch up on here. They have
we have a couple of top
this
laners
Ornn.
banned away. This is what we were expecting, protecting Doran's pick with the Gwen and the Yorick taken off the board. The Shy is not a player that I have had concerns about champion pool with ever, so I expect he's able to find something, and the Aatrox is the thing that's scaring me the most. Seraphine and Rel going to be taken away from Carrier. Now Gumiushi going to see what he's going to lock in. I'd expect... Okay, never mind. The Maokai consideration.
He's playing the Carrier game that we were playing. Oh, well, all of these champions.
Rolling the dice through the support pool at the moment, but we'll see what does actually get locked in. The Sona would worry me.
Yeah, because T1 that played Sona Tarek versus IG at MSI 2019 resulted in the 16-minute, 1-second loss. Like Jackie Love Draven did do it and just blasted.
And just to remind everyone, this is what I was talking about before when it comes to the Ziggs. T1 currently 0-5 versus the champion in split 3 of the LCK. They have struggled to deal with it as it is going to be the Lulu locked in, so anyone can kind of be a tank. And you were talking about Nocturne combos. This is a fun one as well. The Wild Growth on top of the Paranoia coming in means that Owner is not only going to be tankier, but he becomes
Malphite.
a large source of CC. You're exactly right. It's like Malphite with extra steps.
Yeah.
What if Faker then locked in Malphite himself? Double Malphite?
Holy.
That's too much Malphite, maybe. And especially into Silas, because that's illegal. Mako thinking about taking away the Varus here as well, as we've got archery on the bottom side of the map. Rookie playing Silas to keep his world's dreams alive here in game number 4. And the answer is going to be a potential peekaboo composition as a last pick TF. A consideration right now for Faker.
So, is it a top lane? Is it a top lane Varus into the Ornn, or is it a mid lane Ziggs Silas go to the top lane?
I think it's got to be top lane Silas.
I mean,
I feel like
I've seen Merwin before.
That's the shy move, as Faker will lock in his famous LeBlanc. And ladies and gentlemen, the man on the other side of the rift is the man to give him his very first loss on the champion. Mako was there in 2015. As you can see, Faker here looking a little flustered, but looking ready to put an end to this series as well, as these comps are fun, Kobe.
Oh, baby. These certainly are fun. So much kill potential. And LeBlanc getting buffed on this patch, we were like, how long are we going to have to wait to see the LeBlanc? Well, we don't have to wait long at all. We get Faker's LeBlanc. And it looks like the Shy is going to hold on to the Varus. And we do get... Okay, so now, are we going to get lane swaps now out of this situation? Because this is going to be a real roll of the dice.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. I would assume it's more likely that they are going to get that, as you were saying where the champions were going, Kobe, and I was wrong. I was wrong. It's been a while since we've had the Varus top lane, but it looks like that's where the Shy is going to be going. So making sure they keep things confusing up until the very end. That was a triple flex until the very last second.
Okay. Merwin has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Okay? It's powerful. I think it is fitting that my League of Legends client at least just spammed a bunch of critical errors and crash right now. It's like, what is going on?
I cannot compute this.
My client just, force closed. Okay.
It's all right. Our observers, they do not get spooked by things like that. As we are onto the rift here for what could be the final game in the series, unless IG can make top lane Varus and the Ziggs work. And odds are, Ziggs into T1 is a pretty good way to deliver us some silver scrapes, but it has to happen now. See whether they can deny T1, as the Gyos are going to echo through the stadium.
So, first Varus top lane in international history.
Oh, there we go.
I would also like to point out that although Faker's LeBlanc did suffer that loss to Mako at MSI 2015, it is still an 80% win rate.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
50 wins over his career on it, only 12 losses, and did just get distortion damage buffs.
Yep.
Distortion and the Mimic distortion also benefited.
And even though it wasn't on the same patch, we did recently have ASI, and LeBlanc was pretty popular in that tournament as well. So a bit of a taste there, as we can see the fancy angle here as the archery is happening in this top lane. Shout out to Robin Hood.
Yeah. So does it count as a lane swap if they're both still just playing 80 carries, you know?
This is just like Season 1 mid lane, as Mako not going to quite find the anchor.
Dude, this actually is going to super duper cement my Unk status. But I want to go back even before Season 1.
Oh, God.
I played with COG in WCG in 2010, the first international
Was that the one where the internet didn't
had
work?
Big Fat GG.
Yeah.
And we played Ashe mid and we played Ashe top. But honestly, more fun stuff here is going to be like rookie Silas versus Faker LeBlanc in mid lane. Some stutter steps going on as well. And this is going to be the supports opening up their roams. So remember, the 4-minute timer is your timer for top lane. So the supports are out here really early. As long as they don't go top, though, to trigger the 4-minute timer. Like, they didn't change the mid lane one.
Yeah.
Just the top lane one. So mid lane's fair game, Atlas.
Yep, it's all just
Here we
fine.
go.
Right now we're seeing, yeah, it is just
Yippee!
2v2 in mid. This is normal. Rookie down to about 50%, but that's going to be the way of the Sylas in this lane. As what is happening? Is it like Gumayusi like teaching the Shy AD carry, or is it the Shy teaching Gumayusi top lane? I'm not entirely sure, and I am hazard to guess that it's more the Shy that's able to know what's up, because this guy also
That's his domain, the top lane, huh?
Yeah, he also pioneered the Callista in the top lane. He is not much of a stranger.
Only the Shy knows what the Shy is doing.
I mean, that has not been proven more true today than any other day.
Honestly.
Right, Rookie taking so much damage here as there's the snare, the flash forward, but it's all a bait. Faker, can he actually still get the kill as he does get the passive proc? And that's going to help keep him safe, but Mako still wants to take him down. This Nautilus is so scary, and he flashes to try and lock him down. The distortion, not enough, and first blood to Mako. Now Owner is making his way in as Carrier's looking to try and punish this Big Daddy as he makes his way out, gets himself another round of shielding. Oh my goodness, Mako, you monster!
On the 10-year anniversary, went from EDG to actually defeat it. Wait a second, he's right back, more action.
Yep, more chains connecting. I mean, there are chains all over the place. There was even a chain on the end of that anchor as well, as now Rookie's gonna get pushed out of this lane. Carrier comes on over to say no more funny business, but I don't think that's gonna deter anyone. Today has been all about funny business, Kobe.
Mako literally himself.
Oh, yeah.
Ends up getting the kill onto Faker's LeBlanc this time around. Absolute insanity going on.
Let's have a look at it one more time here, as this looked like Rookie was dead.
Yeah, it looked like a kill angle to Faker as well. I mean, honestly, to me too, so let's take a look at this. He hit the Q as Rookie was coming in and hit the chain. That was nice as he was going back to the minions. Stays in range to fully tether it. And get the lock.
And Kingslayer both layered on top of each other to make sure the Rookie survives.
Mako keeps Rookie alive, and then Mako finishes the job. Walk him down.
Oh man, look at this. Holds the flash for such a long time as well, and Carrier even tried to make it as impossible as he could to click on Faker, as Danny is losing his mind, as we can see.
He's having fun! Everyone's having fun watching this series. This series is crazy.
Well, distortion over the wall here from Faker. Can snap back if you would like to. But Owner also lying in wait. Satchel charge going to come on through here, but Gumayusi not too worried about the minefield that has been put down. Throws out the Q. The bouncing bomb going to be ignored here as the Ashe in a pretty good spot at this point of the game. As Doran, yeah, this is not going to be fun, I don't think, for the Ornn in this lane. As great sidestep there from Carrier. Mako not quite picking the direction he would juke, as Way looking to keep things interesting as well. He's on top of a ward, so it is going to be T1 just playing defensively and will be okay. Faker dashes forward, and Rookie is looking a little worse for wear. But after what happened in the early stages, I don't think they're going to overcommit for that.
I gotta be honest, Alice. I totally thought the supports were at some point going to leave mid lane, and the lane swap was only going to be early stuff. But man, everyone camping around that mid lane, supports and jungles. At least our bottom laners have finally met back up.
X-Splash. She does move far enough away to keep himself fully safe. And everything is going to sort of relax itself, right? We've got a 500 gold lead approximately here for IG, who have benefited from this early game. That first blood going over to Mako is basically the gold lead.
Yeah. Mid lane, of course, Faker, it has resulted in a good CS lead for Faker with the constant pressure and making it hard for Rookie to CS. And now neither of them with flashes does make me think Jungler's Paradise. We've got level 6 Nocturne, and Way is a bit behind, so it's going to take a bit more for Pantheon to get level 6 and get that global threat as well. But we are about to enter the jungle paradise of level 6s, just fire off those ultimates, go grab your kills. We have no flashes on the mid laners or the supports, which are also technically mid laners in this game. I guess they've spent enough time
also
there
mid laners
to be labeled as the support mid laners.
This is also the first game that we don't have Spellbook for Carrier, so he's not going to be able to teleport his way around the map. Mako is going to be so lucky. So we'll see whether Carrier can get the value out of the area that he's looking for, despite not being able to have that added utility. Gumayusi back up towards the top side now, once again leaning into Gala as Rookie taking down lower and lower. This is something we used to see all the time. The stolen Mimic Distortion from the Silas. Although that's showing my age. I think that was the first time Silas.
I think that's what we were supposed to do today. I think that's what today is about.
Yeah, we were just, it was Unk broadcast, right?
Today.
So we're allowed.
Today is History Day.
Well, there is that distortion being utilized. It's a fair bit of damage, but now everyone is being called in and they slam Rookie into the ground. Some grubs should come on through for T1 afterwards as well, but man, Blinken, you missed it. As Rookie is just dead.
That's everyone who has an ult used their ult on Rookie. Carrier didn't because he's only level 4, but everybody
He pressed R though, Kobe. You best believe he pressed R.
He pressed R for sure. He's with you.
Oh my goodness. All right. But it will still be IG utilizing the fact that they didn't press as many R buttons to take 2 of these grubs. One of them did go over to T1 as a result of that last play. But it's not enough to get the gold lead completely back in the hands of T1. Instead, things are just basically equalized.
The Avengers assembled around mid lane to take down Rookie to even it up 1-1.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the Thunderbirds that were going to be the second round of Avengers, but no. Apparently, it's just T1.
Yep. Well, let's take a look at the aftermath. So you do get the credit towards your objective as far as getting the double grubs. Another lock in here. Faker continues to apply some pressure, going for the trades, but you don't get the Void Mite spawns, the little void voidlings or whatever.
Yep.
For your split pushing or your tower taking later. So it's a little bit reduced, but I think T1 feel pretty good about their situation, getting the kill here onto Faker. He did also invest in the early heal cutting here against Rookie in this lane, where so many uses of the Kingmaker as well as Mako's heal, I guess, since Mako's that was very effective heal early on in that early trade.
I also feel like there might be a Sundered Sky coming in, and that may be even the bigger issue. As here's the kitchen sink falling from the sky.
Ash Arrow, Ornn ultimate, they all collide at the same time. Honestly, kind of impressive that Faker still was able to get the last hit of the kill with everything just
it's pretty impressive.
At the same
I mean, that was
time.
damage soup that just landed on him. And was enough to deal with Rookie. That's one of those times where you're like, you just start pinging all of the R buttons that just hit you.
I want to do an investigation and see, like, what was the actual time difference between each R button press, as Doran's got some visitors.
Well, he is also going to call in his friends, but it's going to be too late, and now Ona might be in an awkward position, still able to get the kill on a Mako, who unfortunately had turret aggro in that play. So a 1-for-1 will be the result, but the Shy able to push this wave in and also possibly put some pressure on this turret, utilizing the Ziggs. Is Ona going to move on over? And only throws out a Duskbringer. So that's all she wrote for T1's defense, and that should be first turret going over to IG.
That was really nice answer from Owner. Lays down the Q right before he arrives with his ultimate, and with the tower damage there, does get the counter kill. So ends up being a 1-for-1 on their dive on Doran. Doran, though, of course, is suffering significantly with the Shy here having his Varus top, pretty good CS numbers for himself, but he teleports right back out. Gala down here to the bottom side, so I think they do want to fight it. They're not going to give it to T1 for free.
Yep, Faker looking for a flank, but he is spotted on vision. Rookie with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow already prepped.
Doran can't come though. This is 4v5 guaranteed.
Yep, Wei couldn't get on in there as the flash is going to be employed. Depth charge comes down, but he creates so much distance, and all the buttons go entirely wide that were thrown after Faker. He lands the chains, and IG just kind of left confused with no T1 to fight. Unless
they found some.
Yeah, they do find
just chase them a little more.
Not T1's to fight though. Gala is hitting a turret, and maybe T1 are going to be tempted to try and defend this. Right now, 3 versus 3. You've got Rookie moving towards the top side, and T1 are going to be able to at least deny some of the extra plates that have come on in.
Okay, so Gala getting some more turret damage there, some more advantage, turret plate money for IG, and having opened up the map on the top side as well after their dive situation does make you a little bit more worried. We mentioned with the Pantheon ult and the Ziggs ultimate, you have a decent amount of global on that side too. It's not just that they have to play into Nocturne ultimate, but they've got some pretty good uses themselves.
There's also Blade of the Rune King completed here from the Shy already. And oftentimes in Ziggs compositions, we often talk about, oh, but they won't have the same level of consistent damage. They won't have the same ability to take neutrals, things like this. When you've got like an on-hit Varus on your team anyway, I mean, it's just a mage and an AD carry, right? It's just a regular composition. And so they're not going to run into any of those issues in this particular game. Unless the Shy does something crazy, because this is not like he's playing a Scion.
What? The Shy never does crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, surely we can rely on that. It's going to be absolutely fine. Hawkshot going to give some vision over to T1. As Gala takes some damage from the volley, double flashes employed. Mega Inferno Bomb goes down. There's a Grand Starfall, but the instant Wild Growth is fantastic. Paranoia comes in, but still Owner is taking so much damage. The flash from Rookie is able to shut him down, and now the Shy looking for Doran. He's tanking up the turret, and he's happy to do so as IG. They slam T1 on multiple fronts.
IG are popping off. They want to send us to Silver Scrapes. They want to send us to a 5th game, Atlas.
They may just do it if they keep playing like this, as IG now looking to take more plates. It is sub 14 minutes for another 8 seconds. And so they might be able to get another one here. Is now Rookie in trouble. Gumayusi trying to lay down the hurt, but instead distracted by a ward and will be able to take that one out of there. T1 by no means out of this one, but the signs of life from IG gonna be putting some worry into the T1 fans.
I love staying in attack mode there for IG. There's no hesitation.
They have another mode?
Yeah, they immediately throw these semi-global ults that we're kind of trying to hype up. You know, they get the double flashes out of the T1 bottom lane as Faker wants the rest of this turret, but Wei is
tiny little bit of damage.
Get back in there.
He just needs to.
What is that thing? Click on that thing. What is that? Yeah, okay, there we go.
Nailed it. So it does take a turret shot, but that is fine. We'll be able to claim that global gold. That's going to close the gap just a little bit.
I do, but again, yeah, I love how they just attack the, you know, the Ashe and the Lulu here. No flashes now on either of them. Really, really big stuff. Mako forces them initially, then they have the follow-up. They got the Ziggs ultimate, the Pantheon ultimate, and Rookie flanking through. So even though Owner tried to cover with Darkness, they just full send. Flash under tower, and then the Shy takes care of Doran himself.
Doran also threw the wrong direction.
Yeah, Doran was like, let me out of here. I got to get this way.
Yeah, he's like, save yourself, Ram, friend.
I'm getting out of here.
All right, we're fighting again as now Carrier in a bit of trouble. Does have to put his Wild Growth on cooldown as the Darkness is going to come in, but Carrier already dead. Owner able to put himself in a great position, though, as the Pantheon will be the answering kill. But Rookie on the top side of the map means that Gumayusi cannot play the game. He's taken out, but it's a 1-for-1. And now it's T1 trying to fight back. This time, the Ram is going to connect as the Ziggs satchels himself out and burns to death. As Owner's red buff gets it done. Now Mako not going to be able to do anything. The anchor is cute, but I think that Faker will be able to finish this one off. And T1, they're going to be able to fight back.
Atlas, this is peak League of Legends right here,
sure
baby.
It's not ping pong, Kobe.
Maybe
it's just battle. Like one team wins and the next person wins right back.
Okay, so immediately right onto Carrier and Guma, and they couldn't even decide. And they're like, okay, fine, we get the Carrier. But then Nocturne, Darkness does so much work here. Because they don't actually have vision, they're able to get the shutdown. T1 kites backwards. We're back to action, baby.
Yep. Carrier just out of the death chamber and might just be put back in it here as the Glitterland's not quite enough, and Wei will be able to put him down. Faker looking for a bit of a recall here, but Rookie might be able to find him. Faker able to distort his way out and will be able to keep himself safe, but still Rookie denying the back angle, and it's more turrets going down for the Ziggs. Man, I'm looking over here, I can see Orcs.
Oh, they're going for the Shy!
Left as they are looking for the Shy. Can they find the fear? And they will be able to do so. This time, the Shy doesn't have a lot of that funny business available. He's doing a lot of damage, and now the cavalry is going to come in as he bought enough time to allow IG to capitalize on this one. As Paranoia just to buy the space, and we'll see whether it works. He looks to turn it, they take down Gala, and Owner is still alive! He survives through it all! And Wei is going to fall at the same time. The knock up onto Mako, he's dead, and T1! Oh my god, Owner, you are an absolute gem!
Holy! Owner does not run away, Atlas! He turns around, he goes right back in. He lives in addition to getting all the kills. That is insanity from T1.
My goodness. And now the Dragon going to be secured here. That is going to be the second going over to T1. Our soul going to be a mountain yet again. And let's have a look at this one more time because, man, the Shy going down, that was understandable, but he did buy a lot of time, and it looked pretty decent, honestly, for IG.
Yeah, and Owner flashed to start this play. So we start the play seeing his flash. So he's not going to have flash for later for escaping. So IG, they're like, all right, we're coming down the river. We'll go for Durant first, then the darkness. And I was like, oh, maybe he'll run away with it. But no, he goes right back in on the stun timer. He has the spell shield. He gets the extra healing. He stays alive with the passive healing, with the Conqueror stacking.
The Umbral Blades. Just getting all of that health back. But man, Oner, zero fear in that moment. I think he thought that he was going to die. He's like, well, let's send it. Saw the arrow come in and just launched himself like a missile into IG.
Yeah,
and
who's
even
collapsing
surviving
on who?
at the end is absurd. Because, like, you just get the paranoia damage down, your job is done. Great play. The fact that he lived is just absurd. As the Shy has killed a lot of minions, as we're seeing here. The Rift Herald is going to be employed in the mid lane. And now Paranoia comes down yet again. The Shy in trouble once more as the Ram, looking for the knock-up, will be able to find it. The arrow from downtown connects from Gumayusi, and Faker is now able to close in as well. The Grand Skyfall comes in, the Mega Inferno Bomb, not quite enough as Owner just barely limping away. And now the fight is going to continue. Mako trying to throw out the CC. The Satchel's good as Gala's bouncing bombs aren't quite connecting. T1 still not able to quite find the fight, and now the re-engage from Mako as Faker is going to get executed, but Gumayushi's the problem. He flashes to create the space, and Gala, they've been ignoring him this whole time. Finally, they're going to move over as he runs out of mana, takes down Carrier, but he will die as a result, and Doran and Gumayusi walk away victorious.
And T1 keep up the pace. They keep the pressure high, continuing to force another and another fight. They see the Shy, they go kill the Shy. Immediate Nocturne ultimate from Owner. He's going sicko mode in this game. Doran is able to hit the ultimate on him, right into the ultimate from Guma as well, and so he's stunned. Owner snipes him with the Q then afterwards. Then they throw the Ziggs ultimate at Owner. Rookie actually steals the Ornn ultimate and isn't able to reactivate it there in the brush, and so they don't finish off Owner. He goes to live. The rest of T1 could push them off. Guma's doing so much work here with the Ashe, pelting them from the side, so even when Faker goes down there, Guna puts out so much damage, or Gumayusi puts out so much damage and keeps them slowed with the Ashe.
And Rookie just couldn't make his way back in again, so Gala kind of left out to dry. Now the Otacon has been started by IG. This has been a point of contention for this team. We'll see whether they can make it work this time around here in Game 4. Man, this is feeling like they're throwing the gauntlet as now the Paranoia comes down. Doran finds a huge knock-up, and the AoE is massive. The wild growth absurd by T1, and their team fighting is just too good, ladies and gentlemen. Gala keeping himself alive, but there are too many people here. Rookie finds the clone of all things, but the Otacon will stay up. And T1 did lose two in the process. Can Rookie do it? Can he be the hero? But he cannot in this moment. Still, they saved the Otacon, and that may actually be the biggest deal in this moment.
Wait, they've got a teleport from Doran. They can teleport Doran back in. Faker and Carrier are flanking them. There's the teleports coming in. It's actually answered here by IG as well.
Oh, Gala gets executed. Faker finds him in the brush. He thought he was safe, and honestly, so did we, because there wasn't the vision as Doran slams his head into the wall, but he is so incredibly tanky. The flash out from Carrier to avoid the re-engage as Rookie is doing a fair bit of work. Doran doesn't have damage himself, and now the Shy has made his way in. It's another hook connecting, but Owner is also respawned. Ladies and gentlemen, Doran will be dying in this fight, but yeah, we have Paranoia coming up very, very soon. And the Ashe Arrow is 8 seconds away. I do not think it's Otacon time. Please let me breathe.
No way, buddy. Let's keep the action going. T1, they approach, they fire.
As Gumayushi's going to find it, and Rookie's going to get punished once again. It's being in a brush that's going to be their downfall, and it's Carrier that's able to get the last hit, but Gumayusi is kiting like a madman. Another wild growth, and T1. It feels like the same team fight that they won before. Well, they're going to go win it again.
That was all one team fight right there, Atlas. They continue it. The R buttons come back up. They immediately press them. They find the engage. Guma here with the Ash Arrow re-engages, sets it up, and the Otacon this time will be the final prize.
They're going to be able to pick it up here. It's 23 kills to 13.
I like those numbers.
Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. A bloodbath here in our game number 4 between T1 and IG, but IG are circling the drain now, and this is where they need to get it together if we want to see the silver scrapes. And that's also Soul Point on the board as well. Mountain Soul will make this team so tanky. Let's see this one as, yeah, he watched Gala walk into the brush.
Yeah. He's like, Ziggs only waddles
blind.
So quickly.
Yeah. Oh, man. Beautifully played, though. It's exactly what a LeBlanc is built to do.
Okay, so then, here we go. Hawk shot from Guma, sets him up. They throw down the blue trinket. He hits him with the Ash Arrow. We already talked about Owner was ready with the Nocturne ultimate, and even though he goes down this time around, T1 successful re-engage. Picture-in-picture will show that they are getting another objective, but don't let that distract you from the next fight, because we're moments away.
This is the thing. I am not convinced that T1's going to win this game yet. Right now, everything is pointing towards that being the likely outcome. But you best believe I will not be baited into expecting something, as the arrow is going to stop the back from Wei, and now he's trapped. He's not going to be able to escape. He doesn't have the Grand Starfall, and now the jungler is going to be dead at 23 minutes and 50 seconds in the game. The Baron is up in a minute's time, and Wei is not going to be able to get into position to try and get vision down.
Is Guma Hawkeye? Has he missed Ash Arrows ever?
He's channeling Prey.
There's so many of them. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a close one to Pantheon channeling the ultimate there in the spot. And the Ash Arrow finds another one. So many of them this game, but T1 now will continue to push afterwards. So they don't see any more champions on screen, so they'll kill some towers.
We'll see whether the champions will come on screen, because then T1 will try to kill them. That is going to be what happens. Right now, Gala does have a massive amount of wave clear. So that Baron that I was talking about before, up in 25 seconds time, that is going to be required if they want to break open this base of IG.
Can we crowdsource, like, what is the highest kills per minute of an international game? Because this has got to be up there,
I mean,
man.
T1 are almost at a kill a minute as the team.
Yeah, just as one of the teams. This is absolute, like, this pace is crazy. I hope that we're setting records here, because it feels like we're at least getting close.
Yep, I hope so. And they're going to have to keep it up, as the Baron is going to spawn, as we were talking about. And IG, they need to try and get into this darkness and make something happen. But the vision control, just from the champions of T1, is ridiculous. Hawkshot and Paranoia. Not only do they get vision themselves, they take it away from you. It's so unfair. Have absolutely every option, as Faker is also able to get all the way around this map to wherever he needs to be to clear out these pink wards if he would like to.
And that's a dream scenario for LeBlanc. When your team does have that luxury of controlling so much vision, you're a trickster. You're this burst mage that wants to go for distortion combos.
Yeah, you capitalize on information. Way better than any other champion. And IG grouping up, getting themselves in there. The flash in from Mako does trigger the flash out from Carrier.
All right, IG, can they...
I like the mindset of Mako. He has just gone for every flash angle that he can possibly find.
Especially when he's looking for Guma or Carrier, trying to kill those two specifically. Let's see if they can actually do that one more time and actually take down Carrier, punish the no flash.
Good spell shield there from Ona. Gonna deny the hook in as Faker distorts his way back again. The knockup gonna go wide from Doran, who flashes away. Now the Ram is going to show his teeth, but that's a brilliant stasis to come on through. Ona goes in, he survives for so long, way too long. Wild Growth comes in, and it's Gumayushi with the damage. Why is this Nocturne still alive? Ona, you absolute monster. The inner turret's gonna go down, and I think this is the end of IG, and T1 putting the end to the LPL has started early this Worlds.
T1 will have every member alive to assault the IG base. Scala trying to defend, but it's no use.
And the Ziggs that was their Achilles heel is finally going to be taken down, as T1 will make it to the Swiss stage to defend their World's title.
Well, we certainly ended the series with quite the banger.
Yeah, that was a bang. And to be honest, this whole series was far more than I was expecting. My goodness, IG. They found so many great angles in the first few games, and I can already see it. You know, if only we had been able to close out game one, right?
Yeah, IG definitely going to have regrets about the early games in the series. T1, though, scaling up into the last game. The last game here, the most action-packed.
And it was very close to the record, I'm pretty sure. We have it here. Supermassive versus Kaboom in 2018.
They hit
3.1 kills per minute.
That's truly crazy number.
That's absurd.
I don't know what ours was, but
yeah, that's numbers we can't contend with Turkey versus Brazil.
Yeah,
okay, we can't get there. But this was still very close, and this was like an LCK team involved. Okay, there's not often that much action. As unfortunately, we'll have to say goodbye to IG. It just feels unfair. I understand this is how it all shook out, but the fact that we have to say goodbye to this team, it's just doesn't feel right. Especially after this performance against T1. I just want to cast these two teams for the rest of Worlds.
Yeah,
this is amazing.
Let's see some more rematches. So much action, so much fun. Baker's got a mic in his hands. I believe we are getting some more interviews set up as well, some possibilities. And T1, people were wondering, all right, is this going to be the moment? Because they do take some time to scale up in tournaments.
I mean, they took some time in this series.
Yeah.
And they needed to, because the final test being the Ziggs, that monkey to get off their shoulder, you know, and being able to finally do it as since Split 3 being 0-5 against the champion hasn't been the best for them. And just insane play. Mako as well, being able to be the first one to get a kill onto Faker.
Yeah, on the
I mean,
block.
you felt the prominence immediately.
Yeah.
And it kind of echoed around this stadium as well. The fact that he was able to do it here, 10 years separated, after being on the team that was able to serve his first loss on that champion, just wasn't enough to actually win them the series. This isn't the one, right? Okay, good.
Yeah. We get the cinematic. Oh, this is all the ultimates at the same time. That was all of the R's buttons pressed from T1 simultaneously to take down Rookie in the mid lane.
Some of the highlights from this series, like already, the highlight reel that we have for Worlds is incredible.
Truly.
It's fantastic. Just so much already. T1 will remain in the tournament. And owner living here was just not allowed.
Yeah, able to take them both down, still surviving. And the pace just continued. I mean, you're talking about highlight reels. Like, if they made a highlight reel of this game, there was so little downtime between fights that you would only have to really cut out a tiny bit of the beginning of the game and just kind of then roll the rest of the game. That is all.
And I'm just really glad that I can confirm that Dracos and Hysterics arrived yesterday. So I'm going to need a break after this series, man. It's just a lot of yelling because these guys would not stop fighting one another. And we've been casting T1 for a very long time. They can be methodical, but we know that they do not want to be. As this was almost an incredible turnaround. The fact that the Shy was able to get the arm guard off, you know, keep himself out of harm's way, dodging a lot of CC, it just wasn't enough when the wallets were this heavy.
Yeah.
And we also answered your question of if the Ashe does get picked up, who are going to be our players that want to play it? Gumayushi looking pretty good on it here today.
He did look very good on it. The kiting, the slow, really, really effective. So congratulations to T1 taking down IG. You know, IG in the first couple of games in this series, you know, even though they did lose the first one, they looked really good. Looked like they should have won it. And then game 2 actually taking it, you know, making us believe.
And it did feel a little bit like they had the majority of the tempo vibes for the first 2 games. And that is huge testament when so many of us, we have to remember back to like 85% of people believing that T1 had this one in the bag. The fact that IG, this is a 3-1, right? It is relatively in T1's favor, but IG put up a fantastic fight. And now we have Keria alongside G-Sun ready to tell us all about it.
Thank you very much, and I'm here joined by Keria. Congratulations on the win and happy birthday.
Thank
생일 정말 축하드리고요. 승리도 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
So you had your birthday on such an important game day, and you managed to get the win and advance to the Swiss stage. How do you feel right now? 오늘 정말 중요한 날인데 또 생일이었잖아요. 많은 게 걸린 날이었는데 승리와 함께 스위스 스테이지 진출하셨습니다. 소감이 어떠신가요?
일단 오늘 생일이기도 하고 되게 또 많은 분들이 지켜봐 주시는 또 빅경기였는데 승리할 수 있게 돼서 너무 기쁜 것 같고 그리고 집으로 바로 안 돌아가서 다행인 것 같습니다.
Yeah, today was a very important day, very special day for me. If I could get a win, I knew that I will be able to get a lot of celebration from the fans, and I'm just so happy that I'm not going straight back home. And then today, well, it was a do or die match for both teams, and it was an elimination, a single best of 5 series to determine the fate of both teams. So how did you mentally prepare for this intense playing stage? 오늘 사실은 정말 걸린 게 많았고 사실 단 한 판의 다전제로 5세트 다전제로 결정되는 그런 플레인 스테이지였는데요. 멘탈적으로는 어떻게 준비하셨는지 특히나 T1은 조금 토너먼트가 진행됨에 따라서 폼을 끌어올리는데 어떤 식으로 준비하셨는지 궁금합니다.
원래 스위스 스테이지 진행할 때는 좀 지더라도 좀 발전할 여지가 많다고 생각해서 그렇게 좀 여유롭게 대회를 진행했던 것 같은데 오늘 같은 경우는 발전할 여지도 없이 지면 끝이기 때문에 좀 이제 다 토너먼트 이제 4강, 8강 그런 대회 대하듯이 준비했던 것 같아요.
Yeah, well, when we originally play, Swiss stage in the past Worlds, it was more like if we, drop a game or two, if we make some mistakes, there's always room to improve and room to make it up for it. But this time, it was a do or die. There's no room for mistakes. So we kind of approached this playing stage match as a knockout stage match, just like quarters or semifinals. And although today was a 3-1 victory, every game was so intense. It was team fight after team fight. Well, LPL teams, especially IG, are known to, be really good at team fights. But today it was just a team fight, a masterclass by T1. So how did you pull that off? 사실은 오늘 3대1 승리긴 했지만 매판이 굉장히 좀 팽팽했던 것 같습니다. 한타도 굉장히 많이 나왔고 교전 위주의 게임이 많이 나왔는데 사실은 IG를 포함한 LPL 팀들이 이런 교전이 굉장히 좋다고 알려져 있는데 오늘은 T1의 교전력이 더 빛났던 것 같습니다. 어떻게 이런 경기력이 나왔나요?
일단 사실 LPL 팀들이 교전이 되게 강하긴 하지만 또 저희 팀 같은 경우에는 또 LCK 내에서도 좀 교전이 장점인 팀이라고 생각해서 좀 전 세계 어느 팀이랑 비교해도 교전력 하나는 안 밀린다고 생각하고 있는 것 같아요.
For sure, LPL teams have really good team fighting skills, but I believe T1 is one of the best team fighting teams in the LCK as well, and I thought we were just as good as them, so I was pretty confident coming into the match. And lastly, before we go, any final message to all the fans out there? 마지막으로 팬분들께 한 말씀 부탁드립니다.
일단 일단 이렇게 스위스 스테이지로 스위스 스테이지로 가게 됐는데 또 지금까지 월드에서 계속 좋은 성적 냈듯이 이번에도 또 우승을 목표로 최선을 다해서 열심히 준비해 보겠습니다. 감사합니다.
With this victory, we were able to secure a spot in the Swiss stage, and as T1 always did in the previous Worlds, we will do our best in order to get the trophy in the end. Thank you so much for your support. And that was Carria for the post-match interview, and I'm going to pass it back to the analyst desk. Thank you, and happy birthday, Carria!
Thank you.
생일 축하드려요.
Thank you so much, Jisun and Carria. Oh my God, they're sliding away. Oh, the casters are here. What is going on? We're bringing the camera back. All right. It is going to come back to us soon. As we said at the beginning of the day, there is no Worlds without T1. Wait, you guys are here as well?
Yeah, we are.
Hello.
We just didn't want you running the desk. Actually,
Raz
fine.
was a little upset.
Thank you for joining.
He was trying to hide it.
Yeah, but you know what? You stick to it. You didn't flip-flop, and I appreciate you for this, Raz.
I'm learning a lesson. I should just flip-flop now. What am I talking about? I knew what I needed to do, but it is what it is. IG put up a real fight.
Yeah.
I loved it. I wish we got to see them continue on in the actual Worlds. But yes, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is brutal to see them go like this because being completely honest, from what I've seen in the LPL, from what we've been talking about as well, I did not expect them to put up such a fight against T1 today.
Yeah, it was really fierce. And at times I was worried for T1. I feel like they really ramped up over the course of play-ins. Play-ins just happened to be one best of 5, so, it went pretty quickly.
True.
But it did feel like they had to find their footing from the beginning of the series to this point. Even, every single game was, fierce fight throughout. There were crazy fights. So I think if things had gone a bit differently, could have seen it really go in IG's favor, and they should be proud of their performance today.
And IG went out in IG fashion. It was just hilarious to see, of course, just going throughout the entire series. It was just a complete slog. And you know what? What Atlas said, completely correct. T1 can play a slow and methodical game. But if IG puts on the boxing gloves, T1 will do the exact same thing. And so just being able to see how IG had leads in some of these games, but T1 put on the classic T1 magic and was able to out-team fight them in a lot of those cases, like, that was fun to see. And then, as I say, IG losing in IG ways, I was talking about, like, maybe putting the Shy on a tank. No, he went Varus top into the Nocturne LeBlanc composition. I was like, all right, let's see what happens. They threw down the gauntlet.
But guys, I see this replay and the other replays we had just now. It was just pure chaos.
Yes.
For 4 games straight.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, T1 are a team who will get into a fist fight with you. They will be willing to take that down. And there were some hectic moments. I feel like you look at some of these, the low health bars, you're thinking maybe if it just went slightly differently, a little bit more damage here, a little bit more damage there. And I guess IG will be thinking that going home from this. But
and what better intro to Worlds? To be in a situation where it's IG versus T1, banger after banger, every game puts you on your toes. You think IG's winning out a game? No, T1 takes it. You think T1's taking a game? No, IG takes it. What better way to introduce like either new fans or really get old fans like wanting more?
And I gotta say, I am personally happy to see the world champions defending their titles and joining the Swiss stage. There is no worlds without T1.
Yeah.
Back to back to back, still possible.
Repeats,
You know,
still possible.
Still possible.
Statistically, still possible.
I think the chances of getting the 3-peat would have gone down substantially if they had lost today.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Gonna have to check with Stats Guy on that one.
Well, we're not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
have
sorry,
to
I
check
didn't
that
check
out.
with the stats
maybe.
team before saying that. My bad.
Something doesn't change though for T1. We've seen that all here. We've talked about this at the beginning of the day. Owner, big boy pants. Every time he needs, he is the player that T1 can count on every time. And he's the player of the series.
There it is. I mean, might as well be. The fact that he's able to have as much pressure on the map, and especially with fights like these, like this game in particular, where it's like, yes, you're going to be Mirana, and guess who you're going to boost up? It's going to be Owner. Early game presence that he has is something that you have to take note of for the rest of the Worlds.
Yeah, and we've seen Owner and Carry be just such a phenomenal duo, but it feels like Owner, on a lot of these champions, we have so many in the meta where you get your spike on that Sundered Sky, and it's not just the fact you have that early impact, but at that point you're just such a threat in team fights. And if you're mechanically proficient on picks like this in Zhao, you can do so much, you can do so much work. You're such a powerful team fight in your own right. And even on this Nocturne, he was just an absolute menace, causing chaos, and felt like he was just pushing the limit of his health bar, diving in situations. So I'm like, oh, he's probably just... He's not dead. He's still not dead. He's still going. Here is a great example.
Yeah.
He went in there and he didn't die. He's just honestly pulling magic out of a hat. And I'm so glad to see him continue this form. We've seen it all year long. He's now at Worlds, and we're seeing that Worlds form Owner once again.
I mean, that's the thing. Owner's world form, we know that T1 is a different beast at Worlds. From what you guys have been watching in the LCK, the form at MSI until what we saw today, what is the hope for T1? How strong do they look?
They look very strong, and they look very strong. And the issue is, even in some of their weakness points, like Worlds historically, it is a ramp up. Like Swiss stage, you might slip and fall a little bit, but you're only going to get stronger and stronger. So I feel like that's just going to be a point to look at for T1.
I think they came into Worlds last year looking a lot weaker than they look this year, right? And they won last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the fact that that happened, I feel like the possibility absolutely there. You know, there's obviously tough opponents ahead of them. There's a lot of tough opponents in Swiss stage, but the potential is 100% there. And we know how clutch this team can be when it comes to this tournament.
You know what? I'm going to put you guys on the spot. We're minutes away from the Swiss stage draw show. I didn't ask you this before. I'm going to ask this on air, and in chat you can say that as well. What would be your hot take, your hot prediction ahead of Swiss stage?
Oh.
One thing that you want to see, one thing that you think is going to happen.
What I want to see, I want to see your face when KT does not make it to knockout stage.
My face right now. I will laugh it off.
And she's already throwing like whatever at the TV screen.
You know what's going to be amazing is
What?
that Dan and I can handshake for the fact that maybe our teams are both going to disappoint us.
Yeah.
I'm going with there with no expectations. I'm on the KT side. You're on the
Top
esports side. I'm on the top esports side as
loud
well.
and proud, buddy.
For the sake of Europe, I'm happy that they're here.
True.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think top esports will probably do pretty good in Swiss. It's knockouts where they have a tendency to get 3-0'd, you know, so we'll see.
Yeah, and going into Swiss, some of the matchups that are possible are really exciting. Like for me,
You have one, yeah. Give us
T1
some of
versus
them.
BLG, the literal World Finals is a possibility. With Pool 1 being BLG and obviously Pool 3 for T1, that's something that I'm excited for. CFO versus TES, that's the first stand rematch. TES has to prove themselves. Surely they could take CFO down this time around. Right, Dan?
Surely.
Right?
Are you gonna fall for it? Are you gonna fall for it?
I heard a
again?
yeah. I heard a yeah. And then Fly versus Fnatic. Like,
Fly Fnatic?
that's a thing too.
True. Repo against his former team
I may
when
not-
he had success in Europe.
I may
That's
not want to
exciting.
see 100 Thieves versus G2, but River is here.
He made it!
He actually made it. So-
Dokla tweeted that. He made it.
Yeah.
So he will be joining the rest of his team here at Worlds. My hot take is that as a region, we're going to make it out of Swiss this time.
I love that that's
That
a
is
hot
a hot
take.
take. That is a very hot
It's
take.
it's a hot take. We never made it out of Swiss. Ever
Yeah.
since this format has been introduced, nothing. No one.
I'm sweating a
No
little
one
bit
showing up.
because I made the point about 100 Thieves. Just hearing about the fact that their practice has been boomed, I'm like, oh God, please. Now we're back to FlyQuest being our sole hope. So
Yeah.
my palms are sweaty. And with T1 being in now the Swiss stage, it's just going to be a real coin flip as to which opponent we get.
It's crazy we haven't talked about Gen G at all, though.
Yeah, we haven't.
MSI champions, back to back.
Yeah,
We knew the hopes that was on this team's shoulders last year.
Gen G
We'll see
looked
about that.
pretty good, you know?
You have all the hot takes today.
Yeah, hot take.
I love it.
Pretty strong
Got the
team.
Emily lukewarm take. I love it.
You know what? I hear that the Drell show is ready on stage, so let's head into that. We're gonna keep the mics open. We're gonna keep on chatting, of course, as we're gonna see the results unfold. And Candice is on stage, ready for the first draw.
首先想问一下
I
梅
cannot
选手
wait.，
在正式抽签开始之前，
All right,
有什么想
please
说的吗？
give it to us.
很荣幸吧，能作为这个
I
抽签
think
嘉
for
宾嘛，
me,
然后也祝大家好运吧。
I just
祝
want
大家
obviously
好运。
easiest draw
好的，
possible
那
for
同样的，我
FlyQuest.
们接
Oh,
下来
really?
要跟大家
Yeah,
说的，本
100%.
次我
I
们的
mean, you
抽签
see
呢，将会确
Fnatic
定
or
2025
PSG,
选
great.
手总决赛
TES and
8 场
T1
比赛的
would
对
hate that.
阵情况。
Yeah,
参与抽
that
签的
seems a
队伍
lot
将
harder,
会
a lot more
分为
difficult.
3个池
It's like
具体
50-50.
构成
Yeah,
如下
literally.
一
That,
号
actually, when I
池
said a
共
coin
5支
flip,
队
I
伍
meant it,
分
by
别
the
是
way.
Yeah.
I completely meant it.
LPL、LEC、LCK 和
All right, the
LCG
brackets,
赛区
you
的
know
1
it.
号种子。
Yeah.
2
We're
号
getting
池
used to
共
it.
Oh
6 支
God,
队
my
伍，
palms are
包
already
含
sweaty,
2赛
guys.
区的2号种子。此外，由于 T1 战
So it's
队
going to be a
赢得
series
入
of
围
8
赛
best of
额
ones for
外
the
积
first
分
2 days, as
LCK 赛
you
区
know.
3号种子 KT 战队。
Yeah, I don't feel so tense.
3号池
I don't know what you guys are
包
talking
含
about.
各赛区的
Yeah.
3号种子
Okay.
以及入围赛胜
You
者
guys can't
T1
see
战
him
队。
right now, but yeah, I'm sweating, of course.
本次瑞士轮的抽签规则是
I'm also
1号池
interested
队
in
伍将
seeing
与3号池
the
队伍两两对阵。
LCP C2 and C3, specifically Team Secret Wells. Like that's an interesting one for me, just simply because as an organization, obviously from Team Secret and Team Wells, we've seen Team Wells and the international before. Team Secret has not. They combine forces, and that organization is just very, very scrappy. That team's very scrappy.
Yeah, you know, speaking of Molecule, he feels like they're a really scary team to face.
Yeah.
Best of ones or even a best of threes, like an upset team. So
Yeah.
maybe a dangerous one to face early on.
接下来就让我们有请名选手 抽
Quit
取
teasing
1号
us,
池
man.
第
Go
一
for
支
it.
队伍。
Thank you. Oh.
Genji.
Of course.
We were just talking about them,
Yeah.
Genji, the reigning champion.
Yeah, they're rather good team. As I described.
I think they're okay. I think they had an okay year.
Fairly solid. Yeah, pretty good.
有请名选手抽取第
Keen has
二
just
支队
been
伍。
a star.
All right, so we're going to have Tier 1 teams against Tier 3 teams and Tier 2 teams versus Tier 2 teams. That is the way it's going to go for the
Yeah.
first round.
FlyQuest.
FlyQuest.
Okay, all right. FlyQuest has had a really dominant year
Yeah.
overall. I mean, Split 2 and Split 3. Split 2 finals was very close between them and Cloud9, but ever since that point, they have only continued to dominate their international performance. Of course, versus G2. Everyone remembers that one. Everyone loved that one. I loved it personally.
Yeah, and just to be clear, these are the Seed 1 teams, so it's not Genji against FlyQuest. We just pull them all out in order.
Exactly.
And the Seed 3 will be later. Next up is G2.
Yeah. So as we said, we're drawing the Tier 1 teams for now.
有请名选手抽取下一支队伍。
So I'm just going to write it down. But yes. And for G2, I mean, let's see what we get out of this one. What's this next ball?
Who's left? CFO. CFO. CFO being the only team that made it to every international events this year.
Yeah, huge achievement for them, honestly.
Exactly.
And,
I'm excited about Honkyu again.
Yeah, for sure. He's been making waves.
I mean, he's won Player of the Year within the region. He won Rookie of the Year within that region. Of course, he was on the Team of the Year. He's just had an incredible year overall. Driver, I feel like, has only gotten stronger and stronger as well. Has been playing a lot more carry matchups, so that's something to be interested in BLG, of course.
In BLG. Big question mark on this team, though. As many question marks as they had junglers this year.
That is very true. I mean, Shadow came in really clutch for the team.
The LEC champion!
Exactly. Oh my goodness. And now we're going straight into it.
Okay, well, I think a lot of teams wouldn't want to be drawn.
right here.
Yeah.
Genji. Now remember, the possible opponents versus Genji would be 100 Thieves, PSG, Fnatic, or TES. Now, if you want some popcorn, it would be Genji versus Top Esports. All right, Genji versus PSG is my understanding of that one.
Yeah, a bit of a rough matchup for anyone going against Genji.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the thing. Better get it out of the way now.
Yeah. I mean, Maple's come back. You have Karsa for that team. It's Flash Wolves of old. Maybe they can get that magic back in order. T1.
Yeah, and the second team drawn, I believe, was FlyQuest. So how do you feel about that one, Raz?
Oh, God, why? I knew the worst could happen, and...
Ei, dragi prieteni.
Feel bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you really? I mean, you guys put up a good fight against Genji that year, so why not?
True.
In a best of one scenario?
Oh.
Hey.
G2, I believe, up against Top Esports.
We like that.
You like it? Oh, okay.
Do you, Ox?
Yeah, yes. What about your thoughts, Ox? Yeah.
I'm coping. I'm gonna be coping all stage. Yeah, historically, but you never know when things can change. And yeah, things have not been in our favor so far. What is gonna be the next team drawn here? Fnatic? Fnatic.
Up against CFO.
Yeah, I think it's CFO.
Ei. Deci eu chiar nu mă auzeam, frate. Of. Numai tu mai ești, cred că. Da. Era pus pe mod în OBS. Vreau să zic că mulțumesc de viewer de pe YouTube și probabil o să primesc partnership de la YouTube acum că am avut atâția vieweri. O să dau o cafea, vă invit la o cafea când primesc butonul de lemn cu YouTube.
Good, but I don't feel bad either. True. CFO Fnatic is gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah, it will be.
That is the only thing I expect from this matchup. Are we winning? I don't know. Again, I'm not gonna say.
There will always be. I feel like you just can't be a doubter of CFO for the year.
That's the thing.
Bill's point, yeah.
I definitely feel better than you do right now, Raz. I can say that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
How do you feel about this?
Oh, yeah, go on. I just want to answer for you for some reason.
You know, I feel okay. I think LCK team's doing pretty well, but that was kind of expected. I think Top Esports, who even knows?
So the
Da, i-am pachetat repede.
Tier 2 teams matched up against each other. Three more matchup. HLE is the first team. HLE had to come back, honestly. They started strong, made it to first 10, and then they dipped a bit, I feel, and then came back by the end of the year.
Yeah, road to MSI was rough for them,
Yeah.
and they obviously didn't make it to MSI. Bit of a resurgence from playoffs.
Faker. De câte ori a câștigat? Anytime. Win World. Au câștigat de 5 ori, omule. 2013, 2015, 2016, 2023 și în 2024. Auzi cât îl plătește pe Faker, T1. 6 milioane de dolari pe an. Eu zic că e bine.
In the finals, taking down 100 Thieves in the fashion that they've done. Desamis and Miru were real standouts there for that team.
They kept on ramping up all here.
Exactly.
Started really low, and yeah, the addition
Ce faci mai încolo pe la 6? Ești la lucru ceva? Da, la lucru. La Medical X-Ray. Pentru lume fac filme. Să vadă toată lumea. Sunt...
Team Secret Wells is a really fun team. I mean, just watching their mid jungle duo and how chaotic they are. The carry junglers, the Silas is a fun one there. So
super aggressive. You know?
Exactly.
Absolutely expect them trying to make the game a bloodbath. Sometimes opponents try and deny them from that.
Da.
How it plays out in their matchup.
Haideți să lucrăm, oameni buni, astăzi. Ducem gunoaiele.
I don't feel anything, Raz, when it comes to KT. That's the
a
rule.
very diplomatic answer.
Yes. I made mistakes in the past. We'll see how it goes.
Of course, Koi is going to be the last ball that they draw out for this one.
How did you know?
Yeah, I mean...
So good. Koi. Nice.
Am I correct to say that that's going to be VOK's
Koi.
versus Koi? Just wonder about that one. Well, actually... Yeah, let's see if we get confirmation on that one.
Yeah, I don't see any invalid matchups.
Yeah.
Here in what we have.
So it is
KT versus MK. All right, I'm out. See ya.
Yeah. Team Secret Wells versus VOK Star has to be the most bloodiest game, I think. That one's going to be fun.
The fact that we have HD against KL, which I'd say the two strongest teams going up against each other. So I think the other teams, I feel like, kind of dodged some bullets there. Yeah. But in fact, those two teams are matching up against each other.
This could be, I think, the funnest match. A very high level match, obviously. So yeah, very unlucky for AL or HLE. I mean, HLE is an interesting team. You already know, you've covered them. Where I feel as though the mechanical skill of those players are...
E scris la Ruben? E scris tu?
Constant mistakes on that team. So I feel like this could be an amazing world team. Obviously, first-hand champions, but ever since then, a little shaky.
I believe in Peanut's last one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thoughts, Ox?
It's gotta go with a bang.
I think they've kind of come into form at the right time with regards to playoffs. I think they were really reeling off that road to MSI loss, but they've managed to bounce back. It's a team with a lot of potential, a lot of players you can believe in. I think the expectation, they're very much going to make it through Swiss. Yeah. We'll see what they can do in knockouts, and I think a lot of people are rallying behind, Peanut with his last year. Also Zeus, the one player not in T1 who is that back-to-back-to-back. So, I think a strong...
Ce m-a prins? Oana.
Matchup against them.
Wow.
Whereas Gen G T1 did get a lot of opportunities at MSI and EWC to match up against AL.
Hi, we're back.
Cum?
Rolling back in. Just a piece of information here. The matches that you just saw are not at the order that we're going to watch them tomorrow. This will be the time.
Pe YouTube 2 sau 3.
What is the biggest upset potential from what we have?
De ce? Da, e ca data trecută, nu?
Team upset, like the potential for me being upset, or maybe you being upset, maybe Raz being upset.
I'm already upset personally.
Because I think for you being upset,
Poate.
I think you would be very upset potentially after that.
I have no thoughts on this matchup whatsoever. I'm excited about G2TS though.
Yeah.
And I will call it an upset.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Vezi ce?
Who would it be an upset for?
FlyQuest looks incredibly good. So going up against T1 is a big question mark. That would be like an upset that is worth calling.
Nu pot,
You know what? I'm going to call that upset. Why not? I'm already wrong today. Why not just like try for another one?
We're used to best of ones being flippy. Like, what's the best team that you see being able to create an upset? I don't want to count out CFO either.
Yeah.
Yeah. History taught me that.
I mean, I feel like CFO should be favored against Fnatic. So I feel like for Fnatic to find an upset there could be pretty big.
And one yeah, go on.
But yeah, it really just depends on the form coming in. But I would expect CFO to be favored in that matchup against Fnatic, especially with Fnatic having struggled a bit on the latter end of the playoffs at the LEC.
And MKOI, for me, going up against KT.
Ne vedem, băieți. Care ești, Manu? Ne vedem mai de seara.
Going up against KT, so of course anything could happen.
Mâine-s meciuri. Swiss Stage. Cândys.
Their worst enemy. Again, this is not the order the games will be played
Da, uite
tomorrow,
care
so keep an
problema.
eye out on LOL.
Poate deși are fac numai pe
For
YouTube.
the match order to be posted soon. That's it, guys. We're on. It's Worlds. It's Worlds. It's Swiss stage. It's the best moment of the year.
Yes,
I'm so
the best
excited. Not
moment
about
of the year.
Teams, though. I'm excited in general.
Yeah.
Dangerous wins.
The Swiss. Now, see you now. Peace out.